Hello, I am Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week I'm joined by Michael Huber.
Dude, I'm putting a parlay on Tori and Miguel for both winning the tournament. Let's go.
Michael Damiani.
Cobra Kai never die. Let's go tonight. Excited.
Making it all happen in the control room. We've got Michael Don Casanova.
Hey, yo.
And Michelle Gavimonte.
I don't know.
But
Not quite.
But really, Blood, you didn't answer my question earlier because there's
What?
so much crosstalk. It was actually a question directed at you. When people ask us to put our emails in our social handles, like on our personal accounts, so they could reach out and contact us, should we use our real email or make another email for us? That was my question I was asking. A little icebreaker here.
Sure. I mean, I don't know what you did. I haven't done that.
I didn't put anything. I'm just curious. I
He's
just
asking
see
what
I would
you
put
do.
your business
some companies are
email
asking
if you did
hey,
that.
for everyone coming over to Blue Sky, please put your email in there so we could reach out to you for opportunities. It's like, oh, I never did that before.
Yeah, no, I mean, PR people like to do that with, particularly with up and coming things. We do have our email that's available on the YouTube channel that people can reach out to us that way. And then we've been sharing the info at easyallies.com for sponsors and things like that. So,
Nice.
But
That's also a good little call to action right there. Nice.
so yeah, so there's that, all of that good stuff. But yeah, we are here to talk about. Oh yeah, Isla is out. She's up in San Francisco taking care of some personal business. But if you missed it, she was on Kind of Funny Games Daily this week. So go check that out. That was on Wednesday morning when that happened. Yeah.
And she'll be here for the ad read, so all you non-paying watchers, look forward to that.
But we are here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. It is a very, very Xbox-centric week.
Suck Xbox.
Just like pretty much every day, there's been some kind of Xbox headline. So we're going to get into a lot of different things. We got this Indiana Jones gameplay deep dive. We got a making of South of Midnight, really cool documentary. And then there's just a bunch of other little mini headlines and interviews, things that I just kind of bundled into one block.
Cobra Kai coming out tonight?
I guess so.
Is that on your
I
list?
mean, I only know about that because you say so. So if you're wrong,
I'm not wrong.
I can't correct you.
I'm not wrong. It's the biggest news of the day.
And for games, Heber's been playing a ton of Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I got a couple hours into it. I've been playing some Lego Horizon. I don't know if did you get into that at all? Okay. I was hoping for Huber to back me up. It didn't back me up.
I tried. I played Metal Slug instead.
He did a full playthrough of episode 1 Racer is what he did.
Damn right I did. What a fucking 10 out of
8
10
copyright
this
matches.
game is.
Anyways.
Absolute 10 out of 10. Holds up. In fact, it's even better now than it was back then. It's aged better.
That I don't think so. Anyways, I was watching that. Empire of the Ants. Don's been putting some time into that, so we'll get his take on that crazy ants adventure RTS, whatever it is. It's craziness. Put some time into Mario and Luigi Brothership, and yes, as you said, Metal Slug Tactics.
So hard.
But let's get things going. Get into these reveals.
Let's do it.
Big, meaty, almost 14 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
No doubt.
Has definitely been one of those little talking points because it was announced before Xbox bought Bethesda, and then it was is this big Xbox got the big Indiana Jones game, and then it was it's gonna be on PlayStation later now.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird energy around
all
it.
All of these things happening.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of questions on whether anyone under 30 cares about Indiana Jones.
I mean, if you like good movies, you should. There's no age restriction on watching good movies.
I've seen some disturbing Twitter comments about that.
That's
People putting it on and younger people's put something on from Netflix. This is old.
it's for clout.
Yeah.
You're not funny. It's They're great movies. It's not complicated.
Yeah, absolute cinematography masterpieces.
Everything.
But yeah, Hubie, you got to watch most of this, and then you had to start skimming through it. What are you feeling on indie right now?
I'm feeling really good, actually. I thought that was a good showing. I think this is a game that's got a lot of baggage around it from the jump. One, it is Indiana Jones, which has gone downhill lately, just in terms of like cultural significance, cultural, like how much people even care anymore. Obviously with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and The Dial of Destiny, which I love Dial of Destiny. That movie's sick. But even after those movies, you know, I think people are just kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Star Wars. Same thing. It's like we're in kind of just like a downturn with this once legendary franchise. And you're talking about just younger people too. Like, younger people haven't really had a reason to, other than if you actually have good taste and you care about good movies, they haven't really had a reason to jump into Indiana Jones, I guess.
Right.
So there's that. There's obviously the Xbox Bethesda vibe, which just like immediately draws lines in the sand with people. And just a lot of the showings of the game have been mid to not good. Just the one with like Troy Baker talking about being Indiana Jones, just the showing of the game.
I will say the first time that he speaks in this, it very much throws me off because I'm looking at Harrison Ford and hearing Troy Baker very clearly. Troy Baker,
exactly.
There are other lines where it doesn't bug me as
Troy
much.
Baker. Yeah,
it was just like the first time in this video where it hit me. It was like, oh, well,
Troy Baker is
weird.
a 10 out of 10 voice actor, but every single time I hear Troy Baker, maybe that's just because he's so prolific and so popular.
Yeah,
but it definitely takes me out of it.
I don't know about every time. He does have a good range on some of his characters, but there are definitely a lot of characters that are just Troy.
Yeah. And you know, this is such like, I mean, Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones is like arguably the most iconic role of all time. Like, almost irreplaceable as a character. Obviously, it's a video game, so it's a little different. But yeah, I think this game just has a lot of weird hangups for people on the back end. I don't know. But I'm feeling really good about it because I know the Machine Games makes 10 out of 10 video games. Mm-hmm. So that is where I put my hope and faith in.
Yeah. I think one of the things that kind of stands out from this, you know, especially getting to see a lot more of the gameplay, is that, like, yeah, this is a slower paced experience.
Yeah.
And a more exploratory experience.
Immersive sim vibes, hardcore.
Oh, yeah. Like, even like with the stealth.
Exactly.
And
those are hard games to show, man. Those are hard games to show trailers for when, like, half of this deep dive is just walking in tombs, you know, slowly walking through tombs. And it's like that vibe wants to immerse you. And when you're watching a trailer, you're not immersed. When you're sitting there playing the game and you are in this tomb for 20, 30, 40 minutes, like that's the test for how good this game is.
Yeah. I will say something I have like mixed feelings on, and like I understand why it's there and it makes sense mechanically, but like when you do something and then it's like bling plus 20 adventure points.
Sure. It looks like good dopamine though.
Yeah.
I'm feeling those adventure points.
Yeah, but if they do talk about some of those, it was towards the end, so I don't think you got to it, but they talk about how that works. So
yeah. With your camera and stuff.
It's well, you're unlocking skills. You do have skills to unlock.
Yeah.
And so like one of them was it's like Lucky Hat. And so it's like the second wind in Borderlands kind of thing. So when you get knocked down, if you crawl to your hat and pick it up, then you got a second wind. And the other one, Huber, bare hands.
Bare hands.
So you can knock somebody out unarmed. You don't have to have a tool or a bottle or something like that.
Oh, that's the first thing I'll go for.
Yeah.
I'm going fist build for sure.
But yeah, so but you see like a lot of like, you know, puzzle stuff and stealth stuff. Some really good interactions with the whip, like grabbing characters and kind of dragging them towards you.
And the freaking environments, blood. I mean, if anyone has played Wolfenstein. I really hope you have. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life if you haven't played the Machine Games, Wolfenstein games? Those environments are some of my favorite ever. Some of the ones like where, and we see it in this, when you're in disguise.
Yeah, the
and
disguise
you
is really cool.
Get to just be in these environments. They're so detailed. They're so immersive. They're so good.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of that in this deep dive, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, because you see the one here that we have on the screen now for viewers, where he's dressed as a priest and walking around like a cathedral or something.
Yeah.
And then there is one a little bit later where he's in Egypt, I believe, because they do show Egypt a lot.
Yeah.
And there's this Nazi guy who's like, bring me that bottle. And he's shouting.
I thought he was
at you.
going to smack him with the bottle, but he just like gives it to him.
You don't blow your cover.
Yeah,
you the bottle, But there's a lot of like little, like little things like that. And
it seemed like go ahead.
And they talked about what even with the combat, looking at your environment and saying, it's like, okay, let me grab this thing over here or take that thing over there. And how am I going to use what's in this room to my advantage?
That's what I was going to say is he gets into a fight with one guy and it seems pretty intense. He's got to like block and dodge. Who knows how that'll actually play out in the main game. If
there is a little stamina meter, which I see is different lengths during different shots.
Yeah. The only thing I can speak to that is, one, I imagine when an alarm goes off in this game, it's like GG. Like everyone swarms in, you're probably like, toast.
That is something we haven't really seen.
Exactly.
Like we've seen a couple of like he took a shot with a revolver, but not like
full
when
swarm.
you fail stealth, what happens?
Exactly. What I can say to that is that Wolfenstein is a difficult game.
Oh yeah.
On normal, that game pushes back, and there's like 2 or 3 difficulties that are higher than that. I played like one higher than normal, and it is extremely challenging.
Basically, if
insane.
The way I would put it is, if somebody is shooting at you in Wolfenstein, you're probably already dead.
Yeah,
it
is. It's tough. Those are tough games. Obviously, it's beautiful. You can just scale it down or up as much as you want, but on like even default, it's very challenging. So I imagine that they will retain some of that, especially when it comes to playing stealthy. Indiana Jones does not have a lot of bullets in that revolver. He sneaks around a lot. He doesn't want to be noticed.
Yeah. Oh, and you see one shot with the whip where he like actually whips the gun out of the guy's hand, which I love.
Love that.
But it again goes to the point where it's like, you're not going to have, you're not just going to be like spray and pray around the room to take guys out. It's like,
not
if
a
they're
shooter.
at a distance, you've got to close the gap at least a little bit.
This is not a shooter.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody can like grab you and like hold, your arms behind you while someone punches you or something like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was a good demo or a good showing, Blood, because it's 15 minutes, so it wants you as the viewer to settle in.
Yeah.
And a lot of this deep dive is slow paced. And I really think like this is the first trailer that really showcased the kind of speed and the tone and the vibe of what this game's going to be all about.
Damiani, what are you thinking? I know that sometimes the first person can be hard for you, but...
Yeah. I think I'm a little behind you because you guys aren't showing up in the thing, but I clicked the video, but when you talked about disguises, I was like just behind you. This is my first time seeing it. I had to say, like, the environments look really good. The puzzle stuff that I was seeing looked really intriguing. To spice it up a little bit, so it's not just all stealth and combat oriented. So I'm very interested in that, and that was really speaking to me. But none of that overcomes the hurdle that every time I see a part of this game played in third person, I just scream like I want it all in third person.
Right.
And I'm just don't like how this is in first person. Like the more time has gone on, the less I'm that is ultimately the thing that's gonna like probably hold me back from playing this. Is I don't want to play a majority of this game in first person, and I really wish they would just give us a third person version of it. But maybe at some point I'll get that. But
I'm curious if they could work it out. I do think that the way the combat is designed, it would be difficult to just throw another option on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine like with how specific like hand-to-hand stuff looks, that it would look really weird in third person. They'd have to like probably rework, and the whip mechanic specifically, it's like, yeah, that would get a little like weird. You need like a lock on or something when like the third person.
Right.
But sure, I'm glad for people who are going to be like into this, and this is like this machine game specialty is like first person action games like this, and so I don't really fault them for going in that direction. Like you have a valuable, massive IP. You need to play to your strengths, and I think they're doing that. But also, there still needs to be recognized that there's a good portion of people who I think, like me, are just not interested because it's not in third person, or there's no third person option.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like the cutscene stuff. I'm like, story looks like I'm in for the story.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say this, I am probably just gonna watch a playthrough for the story because like I want to know like what the story is, but like I don't want to play a whole game like this in first person. Like I get sick of them, like physically sick, not like yeah. So like I it's not a good time for me. And any time like the action sequences where you're doing like a traversal mechanic, so some of them, you like the one earlier in the shot of the trailer, you're climbing up a wall, it's third person, but then in the like beginning when you're running away from like the sand room or whatever, he whips and like launches himself in first person and like looks like he's hitting, it looks so weird at points too. So I for every part it looks like nice. Some parts just look like off to me as well and doesn't like look as smooth. But man, like it just sucks because these environments look so good.
Yeah,
and that's, to me, an opportunity to.
That to me is the strength of first person, Damiani. The strength of first person is to highlight those environments.
Oh yeah, you didn't get to see
really
this marketplace.
Game. Like for as good as Last of Us, Uncharted are my favorite games ever made. Full stop, straight up. Resident Evil, third person, like, is still nowhere near as immersed I get when I'm, like a Dishonored or a Deus Ex. Like, first person allows you to fully inhabit this world.
I can go into like an option to go back and forth. Like, for example, like Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, like especially 2. Remember 2 in the tanker in the beginning when like you walk up to like the bar in the famous trailer, you shoot it.
Yeah.
Everyone went there. You start aiming. It's like it goes into first person. It's like there are reasons for it to go. And like like for shooting mechanics, aim down sight. Sure, put me into first person maybe for more precise aiming. But for like combat action sequences, for like the setup, I want third person as well. Like I want an option to be over the shoulder style third person, and then when you want to get like a little bit more granular, maybe goes aim down sights, which is a little bit more like first person. And in inspecting stuff, maybe I can go in like, hey, it's clue stuff. Maybe you want to try using first person perspective to be a little bit more, like tactile, hands on with the environment. Like that would probably flow better with me. But they've definitely erred on the side of we're going more in on first person than third person. Third person is just used for certain specific sequences and the storytelling cutscenes.
For sure.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you. And there's definitely other people like you that
there'd probably be more hype if it was third
person.
person. Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Huber, it is doing the premium edition 3-day early access thing. It's December 9th for normal people, December 6th for high rollers.
Single player game. I mean, it's annoying every single time, no matter what. If it's a single player game, like pay to win, it's, whatever. It must be nice kind of thing.
Right.
But, whatever.
But
it's just annoying. Like,
I am optimistic, yeah.
I just hate that it splinters conversations. We talked about it with Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Obviously, a way more important conversation to be had in Life is Strange, but still, like, Indiana Jones is big for a lot of people, but.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that I think the thing about it is that, when, like, obviously, like, when we get early copies or whatever, like, people are going to keep that to themselves, even if it's, like, after embargo. People are like, we're not going to spoil whatever. But, like, when that December 6th early date hits, people are streaming it immediately,
Oh, yeah.
And if,
rat race.
If you're waiting just for the regular launch or the Game Pass or whatever, it's just like, just got to dodge it.
You got to dodge it.
And I think it goes to not just like story plot details and something like this. It's also locations. It's like what did they hold back? You
just got to pick your battles. I've been doing it for 10 years now. It's like something comes out you care about, just go off the internet. That's all you have to do. I don't blame anyone else. Like, we live in 2025 almost.
A lot of people have jobs that they can't. That's the problem.
There's ways to do it. Just, I don't know. I have less and less sympathy all the time for spoilers if you are on the internet and you get spoiled. Like, just media blackout. Media blackout, dude.
You also don't have to post spoilers. You just don't.
Of course. But it's 2025, and we like to have conversations. Spoilers kill. The spoiler aversion and people crying about spoilers kills conversations, and I fucking hate it. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
Have to though, because
we want to talk about things we love. Like, I'm sorry that our lives do not revolve around every single person who doesn't have time to play a game. Like,
but that's the problem though. So like Discord, you have the tools to where like people that want to talk about this, they can go and they can talk about it, and the people that are not ready, they don't have to see it. Mm-hmm. When you talk about something like Twitter or Facebook or something, you're just blasting it, like you're just like in the middle of the mall shouting this stuff out.
We know that though. We've
but
seen
you don't.
It for 10
it doesn't
years.
need to be that. Like they should have
the
spoiler
genie's out of the bottle.
tools.
It will always be that way.
You should be able to spoiler tag things on these social media channels that like any other discussion forum software has, right?
Yeah.
Like if I want to, if I want to post a screenshot. And I think this is a little later. Like, should be able to put a spoiler tag, and you have to click through if you want to see it. You don't just get assaulted by it because you're looking at your feed.
I agree. I agree with you, bud. I agree with you. I'm just saying, spoiler diversion, man. It really kills conversations, and I don't like that. I like being able to talk and share with people like the love of something. Like Penguin just came out, right? And it's like, sorry you're not watching it. Like, we want to talk about this because we are watching it. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, we're not going to stop having a conversation about something we love because you chose or you didn't have time to watch it. Like, it's not fair to the rest of us.
Okay, dude. You'd be the absolute opposite if you had not watched it. I guarantee.
Well, I would stay off the internet. And then I would get spoiled either way and then be sad about it, but I'm not going to like yell at people for like they chose to spend their time watching it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think I'm being irrational.
Anyways.
One thing. I want to know the beginning of that video in that room filling up with sand. If you don't leave it
that
fast
scene
enough,
makes no sense to me, dude. It doesn't
like,
happen.
why would a trap lead you to the exit?
Will you get a game over? Or is it going to just nicely stop right there for you to walk
Guaranteed
out? No
game over. Guaranteed game over.
Guaranteed.
But
okay,
seriously, what kind of trap room is like, hey, we're going to raise you up to the exit?
I just don't think the physics on this work. The sand would be covering your legs and you'd constantly be like trying to pull up out of it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a video game thing. It's fine.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, it's a perfect exit, dude. Like, why? Why would they have a perfect exit just straight out?
Anyways, next Xbox
calling
game.
you out, Machine Games. On
South of Midnight.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Don't worry too much about showing the talking heads and stuff because the gameplay and stuff is all intercut, so it'll be fine. You could just start playing this somewhere. Yeah, so they put out a 30-minute behind-the-scenes documentary on this game and everything that they've been putting in to make it. And it's one of those things. I was saying this yesterday on Kind of Funny, but it's like when people ask you like, oh, what are your most anticipated games? What are you looking forward to? As soon as you hear that question, every video game is erased from your brain.
Yeah.
But then when I see footage of this again, it's like,
GTA
yeah,
6.
this is one of the games. Like, this is like probably one of the things I'm most looking forward to is playing this game.
Definitely.
It has got so much vibe. It's got so much love. It's got so much attention to detail throughout. And yeah, it's like, this guy here, the creative director, David Sears, he talks about it is like very like almost Miyamoto coded because he like talks about like when he was wandering around through like the swamps and the forest and stuff as a kid and like coming across these old buildings and just like imagining, like monsters and things being tied to them, and really like digging into that and digging into like all kinds of different local folklore, um, but their team Compulsion is like based in Montreal,
Yeah.
and so it's like they had to do a lot of work to kind of like
There he is.
get everyone. Yeah.
There
So
he
Dodd
is.
started a little like later in the thing.
There he is.
But we got Olivier
My man.
Durivier. We got a lot big focus on the music in here too.
My man.
But they talked about they had a storyteller called named Donna Washington who came in and was just telling the team different stories and stuff like that and interacting with them, taking a lot of questions about folklore. They specifically talked about Southern Gothic kind of being the theme and about surviving in difficult times. And leaning on like the weight of the past with like decaying buildings and all the overgrowth stuff and the supernatural. And they say that like almost all the creatures are inspired by folk tales from the South, but because they're folk tales and rumors and things like that, like there's not necessarily like a lot of visual descriptions of how things look, so that gave them a lot of creative freedom
That's
to
fine.
kind of like interpret things.
Yeah.
And then each one kind of has some like specific impact on Hazel, kind of like facing fears, confronting things from the past, and they get into like this whole theme of she's a weaver, and so she kind of sees like these spiritual like threads, and so it's like you actually have like these huge like knitting needles as like your weapons, and you use them to kind of like pull things together and heal these environments and everything. And so like, yeah, they just talk about the journey of like finding empathy for those who feel like they shouldn't receive any at all.
Gotta find it.
Yeah. So there's like, yeah, so they're saying there's like a mix of like these kind of like evil spirits and things like that like you have to take down. But then, like a lot of like the bigger characters and stuff that you face,
The
is,
sick
like,
frog character.
Yeah, like
right?
you're
Yeah.
trying to heal them. You're trying to like bring them back.
Yeah.
And the same thing about kind of like purifying the world and stuff like that.
Purify the blight.
But yeah, with the composer Olivier Durivier, who did Streets of Rage,
The
Plague
legend.
Tale, Remember Me,
Absolute
Dying Light.
ledge.
He was talking about like going to Nashville. And
Top
like,
10 most underrated people in the gaming industry right now.
Yeah. Well, and they even talked about like when they thought of him was because they wanted like action to equal musicality. And so when they're thinking about like, okay, who mixes gameplay elements with music the best?
Rage 4, dude. The prime
it's
example.
him. Yeah. So they got all these singers and musicians and stuff from the South, from different genres. So like, but they're saying like taking the flavor of the blues, taking the flavor of bluegrass, and taking the flavor of country, and
Fucking
then,
sick.
but then kind of like going out into like this like fantasy kind of assembly of it.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's actually like a lot of singing in the game. Like they had like a lot of different people like actually singing songs and stuff in there, and he was talking about directing them to like to put them in the mindset of you're not singing as yourself, you're singing as this character, and
It looks like you kind of move around like Cole McGrath. Dude.
Yeah.
Friggin'
No, it
infamous over
definitely-
here. Like,
There's
some
like
infamous vibes.
that's the thing, Huber. Like there's so much about this that like just hits me in those right points, right? Because it is
Yeah.
a very like exploration focused game. With
Wasn't
that,
Infamous 1 in New Orleans?
two.
Number two, that's
was-
right.
Was,
The fake
it was-
New Orleans.
it wasn't New- yeah, it was like New Marais or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's been so long. Infamous shit.
But yeah, so like she's got the air dash and the glide, and like all of that stuff goes into her weaving powers. And they talk about like being able to like see the threads in the world. And they also talked about like just visually like how like looking at like crochet and lace and stuff like that to kind of like get those vibes down. They also talk about like they visited like a motion capture studio that's kind of local to them, and really like tried to reverse engineer like the look of the craft, and like getting and this is something that was interesting because it goes into the music, it goes into the art, and it goes into like the themes of the story. But they're talking about like embracing imperfections and how imperfections are actually like a lot of times what makes a character.
Yeah, dude.
So
I think it's perfect. Don't chase perfection. Perfection is the enemy of good, is it? Is that the?
yeah. And then they also had like what else was in there? They talked about research trips that they took down there. So like they had 2 1-week trips where all the directors went down and just explored all of these different spaces to like they want to get the vibes right.
Nice.
And they had an audio guy record for like 6 months, you know, just like the swamps and stuff at different times of year, and just what does this place sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So yeah, it's a really, really cool documentary. And again, like I said, like it reminds me of like why I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
It's like I'm from Florida, so it's a little different than Louisiana, but still there's like a lot of similarities and like a lot of stuff that like I vibe with.
Hell yeah.
And like a lot of this is just like all about the vibes, all about the artistry.
A game made from the heart and soul.
One of the directors for the actors is Ahmed Best, Jar Jar.
No way. Yeah. Fuck yeah. We love Jar Jar in this house.
So yeah, it's something that like you can tell like just everybody like that's featured in this documentary that they're just putting all of their passion and soul into it.
So good.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a win here.
Yep.
We need a win.
We still don't know when it's out. It's 2025, and that's the detail that we've got.
Yeah.
But
Probably summer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, summer or fall.
summer would be great. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Dude, a nice summer hit. Let's go.
Damiani, this one is third person.
Third person, Damian.
Yeah. These environments also look amazing for
Yeah,
like the way
dude.
different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
and
a lot
even
of cool
like
stuff.
like having that kind of like stamp with the art style and replicating that type of animation, but like doing that while also like having these really cool platforming and traversal mechanics is kind of insane. Like I'm very curious. Like they're doing like really precise stuff too. So like I'm very curious how like it feels, and because it looks really good, like the actual like the traversal stuff.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I was looking at, like that giant like alligator I don't know which one it is.
It's alligator, yeah.
Okay, alligator boss like fight. That was like like the combat looked pretty crazy for that too. So this looks very impressive to me, and I'm this is a very like I'm very excited to try this out actually. Like I really want to dive into this when I don't have obviously Xbox, but like whenever it inevitably comes to everything else, yeah, I will.
I'm sure it'll be on PC.
Yeah, PC,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
PC. Yeah, PC. Hopefully, if not, it'll probably come to PlayStation 5. So yeah, I'll be able to play it at some point because it looks amazing. Yeah.
Well, Damiani, to your point, we got a few other Xbox headlines. This is an Xbox. We'll get to that in a second. But before that, Bloomberg published an interview with Phil Spencer with a few different juicy tidbits in there.
Dude, I'm getting worried about Phil Spencer, man. Every time I see him, he does not look healthy.
Dude,
I'm like,
I
legit scared. It's not a
legitimately-
meme. It's not a joke. I'm like legit concerned.
I legitimately think there's
not kidding.
something wrong with those photos. Like, I looked at those photos and like, he looks like he has been out in the wasteland
Yeah.
getting radiated. Like,
Yeah, I'm like nervous.
there's like, I don't know. It's like something is wrong with the camera or something.
yeah.
It just doesn't feel like that's true to life.
Yeah.
Something is wrong there. I don't know what it is.
Someone got the lighting like messed up or
Yeah.
something, dude. Yeah.
Anyways, one of the first things he addressed was, because Bloomberg, money stuff.
Money.
Possibility for more acquisitions. He's saying there's nothing imminent, and very large deals are probably off the table for now, since they are still in the process of absorbing Activision Blizzard. But he did say that they are keeping their eyes open to expand more into Asia and to mobile stuff. So there could be some smaller things along those lines.
Asia and mobile, man. It pays a lot of bills. For sure.
Imagine them like eating pancakes and like more stacks of pancakes.
We're gonna get to the
Just, like-
pancakes, Damiano. Don't
Yeah.
spoil things. Second, Phil confirmed that there is a team learning about the handheld market that's going on right now.
What?
They are developing prototypes.
Stop.
Prototypes.
Stop. For how long has this been a thing?
Don't know how long it's been, but they've been messing around with that stuff. They're working on handheld stuff in the Xbox hardware
The
labs.
Switch came out how long ago? Like 8 years ago?
Right.
Steam Deck.
Yep.
I mean, we love the PSP and Vita in this house, but still, like PSP Vita.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I think
seems a little
I think
late
it comes
to-
more with the Steam Deck and ROG and all that stuff. Yeah.
It just seems super late in the game to be like, we're investigating that.
right.
Like, okay.
He did say that if they did do anything along those lines, it would still be a few years from now. So yeah, like there's still a prototyping phase.
All right.
And what they are focusing on is improving Xbox integration on the current platforms. So like he thinks that is like it's good but not great. Like being able to get Xbox stuff on like a Steam Deck or whatever.
Got it.
Yeah. And then oh yeah, he had a quote here. Longer term, I love us building devices. And I think our team could do some real innovative work, but we want to be informed by learning and what's happening now. So there you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Whatever that means.
Third is the one that people have been talking about the most. They are very happy with how that first batch of cross-platform releases went with PlayStation and Switch.
Money in their pocket.
Yeah, getting Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves and all that.
Money in their pocket, dude. I mean, once you've already lost the arms race, the console race, like, what do you you're either withholding games on another system out of spite,
Right.
or just to make more money. Like business wise, it makes sense.
Yeah. So they're looking to see what's next. He says, I do not see any sort of red lines in our portfolio that say, thou must not. And he said it's too early to make any sort of decision on the next Halo.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's like I think of exclusives, right? For my whole life, it's been the only important thing. It's been the only discussion about consoles for me is what can I play on this thing that is only on this thing? That's it. That's the one and only question. But you have to figure that after, this deep into this console generation, everyone has made their choice. The consoles have sold, by a game being exclusive to a system now, it's gonna matter less than when the consoles first launch.
Yeah.
So now it's really get your games just out there.
And Damiani, we've seen this, right? Square Enix reiterated again recently that they are going to be looking to get Xbox and PC stuff more day and date. We saw Ubisoft backpedaling on Steam stuff.
Yeah. Question though, when the next gen hits in 4 years, then do we reset? Then does Xbox and PlayStation start going a little more exclusive to try to get people to buy their console? Of course, Nintendo does their own thing. They're always going to have their exclusives. But I wonder if, because again, right now we're so late in the game, it's you want to have your games everywhere.
Yeah. What do you think, Damiani?
Yeah. What do you think?
So do you think it's specifically about your thing you just said about 4 years from now?
Yeah, when the next Xbox and the next PlayStation inevitably come out,
I don't know if it's this Sony's always going to try and push their first party stuff, and they're going to try and push it. It was a bit that's stronger than Microsoft's, but I do wonder if both of them are also looking at different ways. I mean, Microsoft's clearly, I don't know if they're going to push maybe exclusive so much as ways you can play your games, which is what Microsoft's making. And if they have a handheld and they're talking about a handheld and they have that out at at launch, it's you can get a console, you can get a handheld, you can, that maybe that's something that they're trying to push is Xbox is about, where you play and how you want to play it versus, and getting, they still have strong franchises there. I'm sure they're gonna leverage them. I mean, we saw what they're with Halo.
Yeah,
that they're gonna try and go more heavy on Halo again. But I don't know if we're gonna go back to. Sorry, this is a long answer, but the short of it is I don't think we're gonna go back to a lot of exclusivity windows like that, or having things like that nature again, because
Crazy.
outside of first party stuff, I think it's still gonna like end up on PC from both those companies.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
for
Sony,
sure.
Microsoft stuff. I mean, Microsoft's already, but like all of Sony stuff is just going to be on PC. And when it comes to any third-party company that's supporting these platforms, they're going to want it all day and date. I don't think there's going to be third-party exclusives are going to be few and far between going forward, and especially in next generation. I just think you can't afford it with how expensive game development's getting.
That too, yeah, exactly.
I think that third-party exclusives are really going to become the matter of like Sony is funding this, right?
Yeah.
Like this thing would not exist without Sony's backing.
Writing a check.
But even that, when you look at like Death Stranding, right? It's like, okay, it was exclusive for a while, and now he's bought his IP back. It's like, this is mine now. Here it is on Xbox.
Yeah.
Herman Holst is in an Xbox game.
Totally. Crazy.
And that's technology that's built by Sony first party.
Yeah.
That engine, the Decima engine. And now it's on an Xbox game.
Wild. That is wild.
Yeah.
New era.
And then the fourth point, quote, the Xbox business has never been more healthy. Phil said, citing growth in cloud and PC gaming as well as console usage. Quote, the business is performing right now, and I think that means a more healthy future for hardware and the games we build. And a lot of people pointed out the irony that this statement was published as workers at Bethesda were on strike. After thousands of people have been laid off.
Yeah.
So healthy, dude.
Yeah, never been more healthy than this.
So healthy. Just thousands of people laid off.
Well,
Just like,
Don,
man, some people are just
play this.
out of touch.
Then
with
this comes out this
reality.
morning. This is an Xbox. This is also an Xbox. This is an Xbox. It's like, so they show like, an actual Xbox, and then a TV, and then a phone, and a laptop, and a Steam Deck, and this is all an Xbox. Yep, you've got an Xbox too. You didn't even know it. Did you? I'm sure that they're going to call a PlayStation Xbox because it's got Sea of Thieves.
Oh my God.
Everyone's got an They want to be like your mom talking about Nintendo.
This is a Netflix.
You got your
This is
Sega
Netflix.
Nintendo, Huber?
Jeez.
It's just like, okay, that's not how it works. I think this is a bad marketing campaign. This is really bad. I understand where it's coming from, but no. Like every other like streaming service and for like, movies, music, and gaming games, they're on all of the different platforms already. Like Xbox is a console. Like, it is viewed as a console. You can play Xbox games or Microsoft games. Like, they should be Game Pass. I get like Game Pass everywhere or something like would make more sense. Or Xbox Game Pass. But like saying this is an Xbox, like it's the device. It's like no, it's just like it's just falling flat to me.
Yeah,
Not
it's
very
crazy
good.
because so recently they were like the most powerful console ever made was Series X, and now they're calling a phone an Xbox. Like the shift there is pretty wild.
It's crazy to me because I feel like this is something that they were really talking about like 2-3 years ago. You know, especially like with the Samsung TVs getting all of that, you know, with the cloud gaming. And now I feel like the conversation has kind of moved past that, and now we're getting a trailer for it. I'm like, okay, I guess we're back to that now.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we're doing. So,
Yeah. I don't know. There's like 10% of me that can kind of see it as a good thing, the advertisement.
well, I
It's like
do
something
think,
in the
I
back
do
of
think
my
the
mind.
mass market had no
Yeah.
idea that you could play an Xbox game on a TV.
Yeah, there's something in the back of my mind that's
know
like this
about
trailer
that.
is like almost there. It's almost there. I don't know. There's
I don't know
something
about
about
like,
it, dude. I don't
like
know.
that. Well, maybe not like everything, but like anecdotally, like like you know, like interacting with like my nephews who don't don't give a crap about Microsoft and Xbox, but like Minecraft,
Right.
know that like to get access to like Minecraft and like the old of Halo, they're like, oh, you can play these games on all these different devices. They know about that, and then like they're probably telling their parents. So I do think like families and kids, like they do know about
know
that. They
what's
might not
up.
be calling it Xbox and stuff like that, but they know of those games being playable on multiple different devices because that's what they already do.
Right.
Like they don't own an Xbox, but it's like they play it on their different like platforms that they have, like a tablet, phone, usually tablet and phone. So like and TV, like the smart TVs, like it's on there as an option. So I don't necessarily think that's like mainstream doesn't know about it. I think mainstream people just like maybe don't delineate so much the
Right.
difference between games. It's name brand recognition, but like not the game companies, but like the games themselves, like Fortnite, Minecraft. I can play Fortnite and everything. That's
Right.
where I think they understand. Not that like,
There's something smart about like trying to portray Sony as like this rigid one machine type thing, like, oh, that's like the one PlayStation thing, even though they have games on PC now. I think, with the nature of Game Pass being everywhere and now this ad, they're trying to just like get all the market, not just the console market, which they've clearly lost this generation. So I think like part of it is pretty smart there. I don't know.
And he did
there's
make
so
a
much
comment
gaming
of,
on
like,
phones.
we're not
going to
grow the market with $1,000 consoles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just trying to get all those other pieces of pie out there, and I think they're onto something there. I think it's like meme worthy and pretty dumb initially, but I think like the deeper message and the deeper meaning behind it, I think is pretty smart.
Speaking of pieces of pie, Don, put this up.
Jesus.
Finally. Xbox is partnered with IHOP.
The hell.
They've got Indiana Jones themed menu items. There's
such as.
Shoot, I do.
Help me out. Come on. You're talking about food on
I'm
the
not
Easy
laughing
Alias
too hard.
podcast. You better be
It's
ready.
funny, the
You
logo,
better be ready.
But like these things do.
Let me
people
get it. Let me get
Here
it.
we go, Damiani. You going, dude? Here we go.
I mean, I'm not, but like people will go to this.
You're not going to do this?
Yeah. So they've got fully loaded French toast, signature beverages, including the Explorer's caramel apple butter hot chocolate, the long lost cookie butter milkshake.
Yo, that sounds dank.
Yeah. So
I'm in for that shake.
There's a lot there.
Dude.
So they also have a
so
thing
bad.
called the Stack Market, which will have weekly Xbox giveaways.
Yo.
And
These are cool glasses.
Yeah, they have these glasses.
I like these. I like all of these. I
Quote-
like every single one of these.
As the official breakfast partner of Xbox, exclusive merchandise was created for the IHOP Stack Market. Most notably, a set of limited edition collectible glasses nodding back to 80s nostalgia. The glasses feature original artwork by Matt Taylor from Xbox and spotlight iconic Xbox titles like Indiana Jones,
really
Halo
good.
Infinite, Sea of Thieves, Microsoft Flight Sim, alongside a limited edition IHOP gift card series sporting similar design.
The Halo and the Indiana Jones ones look really cool.
Yeah.
And they all look cool. I really like them.
Yeah, Don and I were like, we want to see like real ones because it's like it's hard to like,
Yeah.
because it's essentially a render or whatever that
True.
we're looking at, but
Yeah.
could
These
be
are
nice.
at IHOP?
Yeah, this is all IHOP, the official breakfast partner of Xbox.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get one of these. You got me. I like
Got
it.
'em.
I don't know. I like
Got
IHOP
'em.
too. Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Is it still called that?
Yes.
Nice.
I haven't been there for a bit, but I'm confident to say that is
Hell
still
yeah.
there.
10 out of 10. Some strawberry pancakes, like eggs, bacon, sausage. You can't beat it.
Nice. What's up now? Oh, Hubert's turn. Here we go.
Is it
Dragon
time?
Quest 3. It is
It's
time. HD 2D remake.
time.
You've been playing for a bit. I just got to start last night.
This, I just want to thank everyone who made this game, and I want to thank my privilege of being able to get this a few weeks early to be able to play it because it's had real therapeutic healing properties for me.
It feels good to just like wander through a dungeon and hear the music. So good.
This game has made me feel okay in life, man. This is what it's all about. Dragon Quest 3. So, let's dive in.
I want to know, have you played 3 before? Because I have not. This is
No.
my first time.
No.
So some of these things, like when
If
they're like,
I
go
did-
assemble a party, I was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
If I played 3, it was like at a neighbor kid's house at all, and I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I finished 1 and played a shitload of 2, and then obviously the 4, 5, 6 on DS.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, I skipped straight from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
And then I never
Those
went
DS
back.
ones were incredible, and then obviously 8 and 9 and 11.
Yeah.
7 is like a 150-hour PS1 game, really intense. Never finished 7 because it's so long, it's so hardcore. So this is a remake of Dragon Quest 3, which is the beginning. Spoilers for other Dragon Quest games. The beginning of the timeline. They've already said they're going to remake 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So it goes 3, 1, 2. So you're like, why the hell are we jumping into 3? This is before 1 and 2.
Also, historically record-breaking video game.
Number 3.
Yeah, when this came out in Japan, 3 million copies, like day 1. Japan only.
Dude. So is this when it started to become like a national holiday after
I think
this
so.
one?
I think this
is
might
like
be the one where they were like, you cannot sell this on a work day anymore. Like, yeah.
Amazing. This is one of the best games you could possibly play this year. And I want you to be patient with me. I want you to be open-minded. I want you to hear me out because I'm playing on Draconic Quest.
Yeah, I am.
Hear me out,
considering it.
everybody.
I am considering it, like, because I'm just on the standard difficulty.
Seems probably so fucking easy.
I wouldn't say like it doesn't necessarily feel easy, but like
No pressure.
It kind of feel like because like I'm not even like using any healing items. Really, it's just like I'll heal when I level up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
So there's 3 difficulties. You can change it anytime too, so don't be
that's
bashful.
nice. Yeah, because
Don't
one
be
of the 11 didn't let you do that.
In 11, you could start with certain modifiers, draconic modifiers, and if you finished the game with those on, you would get a badge next to your save file. But if you changed the difficulty from that, you couldn't go back.
Okay.
So you could lower it if it was too much for you, but you couldn't go back up.
Got it,
This,
got it.
you can just change. Not a big deal. And I really want to sell this mode to you, listeners, because I don't know. I imagine it's not going to be a huge talking point out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be a huge talking point. But to me, it is the talking point of this game because, as you may know if you follow me, Dragon Quest VIII is my favorite JRPG of all time. I think it's one of the greatest games of all time. That game doesn't have difficulties. It's just you play
Right.
Dragon Quest VIII.
I'm sure the original version of this did not either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dragon Quest VIII is one of my favorite economies of all time. Like, it's one of my, leveling up in Dragon Quest VIII feels so good. Exploring off the beaten path and finding a new weapon that you cannot afford for a new party member is pure dopamine into your veins. Dragon Quest XI with the draconic modifiers retained that feeling. And to me, that is the best possible feeling you can have in a big, sprawling RPG. Period. Meaningful exploration. Meaningful leveling up. Anytime you level up, you're just like, yes! It's so huge. You get to a new shop and you get a weapon and it's like, oh my God, I have a fighting chance now.
Right. Or you see like, there's that one thing I can't afford it. Let me go out and get some gold.
Yes. And this game is really hardcore in the sense that the draconic mode, right? Now, on paper, okay, you may be like, what the fuck, right? Okay. Draconic the mode it gives you basically 1/5 XP. 1/5 gold, right? That sounds insane. That's just like, so I have to fight 5 times more enemies to level up? technically, yes. But if you're playing on normal and you're just getting all those levels, the game is just a cakewalk. The game is just chill. You'll fight a boss, you might have to try whatever. On this, it's not so much as a grind as much as it's forcing you to strategize and to think about every battle, about every purchase, and not in an annoying grind bullet sponge kind of way. It's just like, yo, friggin' engage with the game.
Right.
Engage with the systems.
Yeah,
Use your abilities. Use your items.
Yeah, because I think, Huber, one of the things here with me so far, and this is why I'm on the edge of like maybe I will, because it's like for like those first like 8 levels or whatever,
Dude, it's
like I was making those decisions.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting
Now
to
you're
get
just-
abilities where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this just wipes the screen right now. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I do need to bump it up.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, I was intimidated when they introduced the party system because I was not prepared for that. I'm used to Dragon Quest games 4 and up having
Predetermined.
distinct character-based parties.
Totally.
Right?
Or
Like a lot-
Dragon Warrior, you're solo. Like, yeah.
Right. And so they have this like party desk.
Yeah.
Where, like there are these guys that you can recruit. And they have
This too.
There's a whole set of vocations. There's a ton of vocations.
Yeah, like 7, 8, 9 of them, yeah.
Yeah. And so I went with. So I figured that my guy was probably already sort of warrior-like, so I didn't go with the warrior, but I got a mage and a priest.
Great.
But then they're like, you can go upstairs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and like request somebody or something.
Yeah, you
like
just
that.
make whatever you want.
Yeah, and it's basically a character creator.
Yeah.
But you don't get entirely. You get most of it, but then the one little thing on there that you don't get to control is personality. And this is some crazy
freaks
stuff
me
here.
out. This is the only problem I have with this. I don't not like it, but I don't like it.
I actually like it. I really like my party
It
composition
just
right now.
freaks me out. It gives me anxiety. That's why. It
Sure.
just gives me a little anxiety.
So this is
all.
hilarious. I've been sharing it, oversharing it because it's basically spoiling at this moment. But basically, so I went up there and I was expecting it to give me some other. I was not expecting it to be like create a character essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, who do you want to request? Like, what's their name? And I'm like, I don't know, Huber. So I put in Huber. And then they're like, okay, well, what class? And I'm like, okay, I'm looking through like, I'm gonna do the Monster Wrangler because I
Hell
know
yeah.
this is the new one and you were hyped about it
yeah.
and like Beastmaster and all that stuff.
Beastmaster
And then you
hype.
get to pick the look and like there's this guy with the skull hat or like I've got the guy with like the wolf pelt.
Yep.
But then they give you the personality. You can't choose the personality.
Yeah.
And they say that Huber's personality is crybaby.
Oh.
That's the personality that they went with. But Hubert actually is like working out really well in the favor because you have like a really good strength stat.
Yeah.
But then you also have a good luck stat. And luck in this game,
Does damage.
yeah, it determines how often you get like crits and that kind of a thing.
So these personality types, if you don't know, it dictates how your character levels up.
Yeah, how many points you
stat-wise.
get during a level up. Yeah.
It's anxiety inducing for sure because there's there's like 25 of these at least.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, 20 plus personalities. You can find books in the world and then equip a book to a character and that will change their personality into what you want it to be. I just fell back to the basics. I gave my hero just standard all around. I gave my warrior strength. I gave my thief agility. So I'm just trying to kind of.
Yeah. But see, that's why I
it's
feel
tough.
like mine is like working out like pretty well in like the balance of like their vocations and their personalities and traits because it's like my mage is like super agile. So she's always going to like throw out a spell like right at the start of a fight.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, like, the Monster Wrangler, like,
fun.
he's got that strength on there.
Yeah.
And the vocations determine which kinds of weapons and armor that you can equip. So there's certain things that, like, no, not everybody can use a club. Not everybody can use a sword. and sort of like, looking and figuring out like what things
Totally.
there are.
And it's really nice because you can bench people and then recruit others to really start building out a lot of these classes.
Yeah.
And that's something Draconic Quest forced me to engage with even more because I got to a dungeon that,
So you had to dismiss and recruit somebody
Yes.
else? Okay, I was curious how this works.
yeah, you just dismiss
What happens
them.
to your guy?
When you dismiss them, they'll be in the tab.
Okay.
They'll just be in the bench, basically. Yeah,
okay,
so don't be
cool.
afraid.
That's the thing I was nervous about.
Same. I was like, dude, is this just gonna like delete this guy? I was scared of it, but I saved before I did it, and then so you can bench them and then recruit new classes. And one of the dungeons I got to, let's just say it disagreed with my lineup at that point, and I could not steamroll this dungeon. I was getting my ass kicked. It was almost hopeless. I was like, dude. So I had to bench 2 people, recruit 2 different classes, grind it up a little bit. This is what I signed up for. So just grind it a little bit.
Oh, because when you recruit a new one, they're still back at level 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I was not sure about. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is like a vocation changer later on, but I don't know if your whole party can do it. It might just be for your hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Yeah. Because my hero is definitely not in a vocation.
That's
my hero
true,
is like
yeah.
in a whole
So
other
maybe-
thing because it's like you're like very warrior-esque, but then like
Yeah.
you're learning frizz and stuff.
Yeah. I think maybe later on then you should be able to, but it's way later because I'm really far in this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to, while we were talking about the personalities, I do want to talk about the opening of this game
Yeah.
because this went places. It does a personality quiz.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
It like asks you a bunch of questions and then it gives you sort of like this morality test. Of, like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do in this situation?
I was like, whoa.
And then
I was like, all right, life is strange.
and then it like spit back out like an assessment, like a personality profile based on my answers.
Yeah.
And it's like and it starts off pretty well. It's like firm believer in individuality. It's like you try to be a tough, independent individual. Even with close friends, you maintain a certain distance. But that may lead others to feel you're difficult to relate to.
Yeah.
But then
That's very
you will
funny.
feel lonely
Oh.
and no one will be there to comfort you.
No.
You are a
He
lone
was like
wolf
shaming you.
destined to walk alone.
Holy shit.
I got the lone wolf personality.
It's hardcore. Blood.
The one good thing about it, though,
lone
is that
wolf,
boosts HP. That's one of the higher things. I got a ton of health and like
Nice.
stamina. So
Dude, I get wrecked.
yeah, but it was so funny.
Yeah.
It's like you're destined to walk.
So funny.
Like thanks, Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be a cozy adventure.
It is cozy. The visuals and the music, obviously 10 out of 10 top notch. One of the best soundtracks
Hubert,
of the year.
I of course have heard a lot of orchestral versions of Dragon Quest music.
But these arrangements, man.
I really think that this like somehow stepped it up a
I know.
notch.
Same.
Like I feel like I want to say the word is softer.
Yeah.
Like there is just
Yeah.
like it just
It is softer. That's a great word for it.
fits the atmosphere better
Yep.
than a lot of the other live recordings and things that I've
Totally.
heard. Yeah.
Totally. Pretty standard story. Remember, this is a remake of like a late 80s, early 90s, whenever the original came out.
Yeah. This is an NES game.
Yeah, this is a very old game. So, I mean, they've enhanced the story, but it is still pretty basic.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like
There are some real, like classic Dragon Quest, though, you will find, and side quests as well, you will find these side stories that I don't want to talk about them because they actually like hit really hard and they actually like go hard. Like you know how like Yakuza does it, where it like starts off all innocently and then all of a sudden you're talking about the most intense shit possible.
right.
This game has some of those moments for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so here because I was thinking that too. It's like, okay, yeah, this is an NES game.
Yeah.
This is fairly simple. But then I was like looking at like actual dialogue and I'm like,
yeah.
this had to have been completely rewritten.
Totally.
There's no way like
There's
the
no way.
text text space on the NES would have like had the sentence like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is wild to look at that stuff. Another thing that I thought was really funny is that they acknowledge that they changed the Chimera wings.
Oh, because you can do it inside now.
Yes.
You can zoom inside.
Yes.
Yes.
You used to just like smash your head on the
Yes.
ceiling. And it's like, oh, magic, we fixed that. Like,
I kind of miss it, but I'm not complaining because it's so much more convenient. Holy shit. Yes. Because you used to have to, like, if you were in a dungeon, you'd have to, like, evac out, then zoom. It takes away a step. Or
Right.
if you were in an inn, you'd have to walk outside, zoom. Now it's just like zoom, boom. No big deal. But it was always so funny when you hit your head. Your character was like, oh. They added monster arenas. There's no casino in this because Dragon Quest IV, I believe, was the first to have it.
okay.
And also, I did hear a rumor. This is a conspiracy theory rumor.
Okay.
Is that they're going to move away from the casinos in Dragon Quest because of ESRB PEGI ratings. Because they want to market to the kids. And I think if you have any kind of gambling in your game, you're immediately like M or something.
I don't
or-
think you're not M, but you're
T for
You
teen.
have to be like at least 10. or
Yeah,
something
so
like that,
that's depressing and
And then different
unfortunate.
countries are more strict than others too.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a staple of this franchise. I would hate to see it go away, especially after Dragon Quest XI had arguably the best casino they've ever had in a game, Dragon Quest games. So, but Monster Hunting is here. You can collect monsters. Pokemon Style, if you love that, you'll just find like a monster on the map in the daytime or the nighttime. Some monsters are run away, so you have to have a class that can make you sneaky to get them. And then you can use 3 of your monsters in the arena. They fight by themselves. You can give them little tactics, but they will do the attacks.
That's a fair point to bring up too. With the party system, by default, you don't control your party members. You have to,
you gotta.
Yeah, I immediately switched that to follow
After the first
orders.
battle, I was like, whoa. I need total control here. Yeah. And what else, man?
I want to tell you about a new feature that I think is really cool that I don't remember seeing before.
Yeah.
There is a function called recall. And so when you talk to somebody,
I barely really
Yep.
used
you can
this.
push the pause button,
Yeah.
the options button on PlayStation, and it will save that dialogue. So when somebody gives you a clue, you don't have to sit there with a notebook. You just like you put that in your list of things, and then when you're like, wait, somebody said something about that, then you can just go down the list and like, okay, there's this place leads over to the tower, and then I know what to look for without having to figure out who said that to me.
Super cool.
And then once I actually fulfill that bit of information, then I can just go and delete that off of my list.
Yeah.
So I find it like a really.
Where do you find that list?
It's just in the menu. If you go to the recall menu.
The recall menu. Okay.
Yeah.
I've
And
barely
then it
effed
will
with this.
list them by character name. So they like, mom said this
Okay.
priest said that, whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. Good.
So it's a really nice way of
Yeah.
addressing that without really dumbing anything down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The exploration's great because when you explore, you're finding side quests, straight up entire side quests in optional areas that'll have you go to like optional dungeons, shit like that, optional rewards. Exploration also leads to finding new monsters. When you find more monsters, your Beastmaster gets stronger and your monsters can like level up if you find like multiple of the same type. That's really good for the arena. You're finding other loot and stuff. So exploration, super rewarding. The monster design obviously is, best in the biz.
Like it's interesting because like in some ways it's quote unquote still limited, in terms of animation.
Yeah.
But I was still really appreciating the amount of animation they put in. Like
Yeah,
the
it does
little
first
armadillo
person.
guys that like kind of lick at you and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Dragon Quest 8, 11, the GOAT, because you see your character do the attack animation, right? It'll be first person.
Yeah.
But what's cool is you see your party
Yeah, when you're
before you fight, and they all have different weapons and shit. So you'll see their gear a little bit. So it works. Obviously, the battle speed too. You can lower that and crank it, dude. Damiani, ultra fast battle speed if you so desire.
I saw it, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Huber being the monster wrangler. The very first skill that Huber has is just to walk up to an enemy and lick them. And then if they get freaked out, they just won't. They just so grossed out that they won't do anything the next turn.
Ugh. It makes me think of that scene in Terminator 2, Dawn, when the guy licks Sarah Connor, man. It freaks me out.
Disturbing. One of the
Absolute
most
most
disturbing ever.
disgusting
Gosh,
moment.
that's a justified kill. No better way that guy got it. With the broken mop handle. You're like, yeah, baby.
Dude, the mop handle on that guy is 10 out of 10.
He deserved it.
Yep.
But yeah, Huber walking up to monsters and licking them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now
Yeah.
in Dragon Quest.
This truly, like, again, I started saying this game just has therapeutic qualities. Like, it's so pick up and play for how like big and seemingly daunting it is as a big JRPG, and you're leveling up and it's like intense. But like, the way I've been engaging with this game is like 30 minutes to even like 3 hours at a time. It really, what's the word I'm looking for? It encourages both
Yeah.
styles of play.
Yeah, I did
like,
not want to put it down.
like
last night.
I'll have something to do in like an hour, and I'll be like, oh, let me just like, you know, grind a little bit. Let me boot it up, gain a level, save it up, boom, I'm done for now. Like, it's just so accessible. Auto saves, quality of life stuff. Like, I just encourage not to rush it, dude. Try that draconic mode. If it's too much for you, turn it down, because it really it doesn't force you to grind. It accentuates the systems of the game, and it encourages you to play the game using everything it has to offer.
Yeah, let me give you
Like, not all hard modes are created equal. I always talk about like playing games on hard, and I love a challenge, blah, blah, blah. Like, some hard modes are bullshit. Some hard modes are so lazy, they'll be like, let's just make this enemy a bullet sponge. Ha ha ha. Dumb. Like, this mode feels so tailored. It feels so refined and with so much love and care into it that I just think it is essential as any fan of this series. Also, a really good Dragon Quest to just hop in as your first one. If you've never played this series, now's your chance. Jump in, see what it's all about.
But I'll give you a good example on that, which is why I'm considering it now, right? Because the way that the picking your enemies works in this is a little different.
This too, I love this.
Yeah, so
You really gotta
enemies are sort of in like groups.
Yeah.
And so you might like attack to instruct somebody to attack this group of enemies, but you don't know which individual they're going to necessarily attack. And then some of your spells might attack that group of enemies.
Yep.
So you might hit like everybody in that group, but then it won't hit anybody else, just that group. The thing that
use that bang, dude. I love bang.
the thing though, kind of towards the end of that first tower dungeon, I got a boomerang.
Oh yeah, boomerangs are sick.
And then but the boomerang will hit everybody on the screen.
It's awesome.
And that was the thing, Huber. Like, once I got that boomerang, all of a sudden my mage wasn't maging. My mage was just always using the boomerang. Yeah. She's like, and because she's the fastest, and for some reason, dude, like, it must be part of her personality thing.
Yeah.
Like, she's a level ahead of everybody else.
What the hell?
Like, she'll get to level 7. Like, right after they all got to level 6. And like, what? Nobody died.
Yeah.
Like, or you've all been getting the same amount of XP, but she's just getting levels
killing it.
faster. Yeah.
Love it.
But that's what I was saying, is that boomerang when I'm just starting to like wipe out whole screens at once. It's like, okay, maybe I'm just going to move on to the next place, and the guys are going to be harder as well.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, like, if that's not the case and I go somewhere new and I'm just creaming guys, and it's like, okay, I need to
Because
boost it up.
I never really feel like I'm grinding, because I'm like just trying to get to a place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's like,
that's
get
all
over
I'm
here.
doing.
And I'm like trying to get there, and I need to regroup, go rest, try again. Get there a little further this time. Oh man, I'm getting owned. Okay, go back, try again. Like, and it's just so fun, man. Really good battle system. Damiani, dude, I'm so glad I played Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster last year, because just playing this, like, you can feel just how original and old school it is. Just the NES, like, JRPG top down. Like, you know, I'm definitely getting a little bit of those Pixel Remaster vibes of like, man, these were the NES, like, RPGs, dude. Just this big world map, like, you know, just going from one spot to the other. Like, definitely that structure.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played a little bit of this from preview events, but Yeah, I was hooked. I mean, I generally I've enjoyed most Dragon Quest I've played, except for sadly 8, but that was probably because I jumped in not really knowing what to expect and probably should have held off on it
Where's that
before
remaster,
jumping
dude?
in.
We need that 8 remaster.
Yeah, we need that
stat.
8 remaster,
We need
right?
it stat.
But this gets me really excited because we're getting 1 and 2 eventually,
Yeah.
and that
And
we
12.
might be able to. Maybe they even go back because they have enhanced previous old ones, but now it's
Yeah.
like they could do it in this style and go
Yeah.
through the classic ones. Like Final Fantasy got its pixel remasters.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest gets its HD 2D treatment for its classical games, and that would be. I think it's pretty good. And other good news, it's like the highest concurrent users on Steam for the Steam version of this,
great.
like of any Dragon Quest game in
Yes.
the West. In the West,
I need this to do well, dude.
So
we
it's
need
looking
this.
pretty good, and
Society
also
needs it.
Yeah, and that's Steam. So it's like I imagine it's probably going to do even better on Switch in the
Yeah.
West too. So it's good opening for
Hell
it.
yeah.
I think it looks pretty promising for its outlook,
Nice.
and it's a needed win for that because that series needs to explode more
Yeah.
outside of Japan because so many of those games are so good.
I love the comedy in Dragon Quest. I love that ravens are like, it's like a raven on a skull, and they're called.
Oh, yeah.
They're called raven lunatics, like a raving lunatic, you know.
Raving lunatic.
Yeah, raven lunatic. But then if you collect the ones that fight with you, the monster ones, you know how when you collect a monster, it gets a name, and it's like a big thing. It's like this monster feels so confident and so happy now. The power of friendship, like it's given itself a name or whatever. And I've captured 2 ravens, and one of them was Alan, and the other one was Edgar. So I assume the third one will be Poe.
That's amazing.
It's very
That's
funny.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the visual style is a really nice refinement
it's so
of
good.
where that kind of direction has gone over Octopath and everything. Because I feel like some of those earlier games, like the kind of like depth of field thing they were doing was like a little bit
Too blurry.
too harsh, too
Yeah,
blurry.
yeah.
And it's like this. It's like okay, if I'm standing on the other side of the throne room from
Yeah.
the king, like he's a little blurry, but it's not.
So right.
It's not just like in my face. Here's a blur effect, right?
So right.
So
Yeah, dude.
it really is a great blending of this style, and I really am looking forward to like I said, like I have a lot of affinity towards Dragon Quest IV,
Yeah, dude.
and of course the original one as well, which I haven't played in
course.
forever, and I've heard so many great things about 5. So
Yep.
hopefully
And 8, of course.
hopefully, what I'm saying is like
When I first met you, we
1 through 6, like
Yeah.
we would get in this style
for sure.
Yeah.
When I first met you, Blood, it was around the time Dragon Quest 9 was out,
Yeah.
and it was after 8, so I was so disappointed. I was so bummed about it. And I remember you just loving it, and I was like, "What? How do you love this, man?" And now I see, though. Now I can see the appeal of 9 way, way, way later, But at the time, I just remember us like talking about Dragon Quest 9 like in such detail. It's so funny.
Review copy provided by PlayStation. Okay, next feel-good game. I've been playing a little bit of Lego Horizon Adventures.
Dope.
And yeah, this just like, it's just a jolly time. Like
Nice.
they're just like taking this universe and like, let's just have fun and
Yeah.
tell some dumb jokes and just take the pressure off while like essentially retelling the story. Yeah.
So it is Horizon Forbidden West.
No, Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I don't know if it gets into any Forbidden West stuff, but I think it's probably. I don't know.
So
I
we're
haven't
Zero
finished
Dawn.
it, so I don't know.
Got it.
I'm also in the hilarious place where I've like not actually gotten that far into the Horizon series.
Got it.
Like I played a couple of hours of the first game, and I've like always had it on my backlog.
Yeah.
But the like, yeah, it hits that Lego tone so well.
Can I
And-
stop you right now?
Right now.
Nothing bothers, like, weird shit bothers me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Little lights here and there, little HUD elements. Is there a way to remove connect controller in the bottom right of the screen? Because that would
Oh.
bother me the entire time.
Yeah, because
The entire
it's,
game.
it's encouraging you to go co-op, even though, yeah, I was playing solo. Yeah,
It would, Like it's like giving me a reaction right now. I'm gonna break out in hives. It, like,
It wasn't
freaks me out.
bothering me, so I didn't look.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, Huber,
Okay.
for
It's just
sure.
a me thing. I'm not complaining. It's just a me personal issue. I have weird issues like that. I'm sorry.
But Huber, one of the things that had always bothered me in the past with a lot of the TT Lego games,
Yeah.
was the way that they had structured the world, where they like just kind of had like whatever generic, assets,
Yeah.
and then there were just Lego things stuck into them. Whereas I really love that this game, everything is made out of Lego. Like even the water, like little Lego blocks.
Yeah. The
of
water
different-
looks so cool.
yeah, different colors and things like that. And the tone that they have with this is so cool and so fun, and it's like, and when you just like pulling your bow back and like smashing things, it's like show joke around, like make little comments as you're going around bashing things.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit more, because I think that's the thing, like with the main Horizon series, like we always talk about Aloy feeling like a little dry, like a
Yeah.
little lacking a personality.
Yeah. We're a little harsh on her.
And here that kind of comes out. Like it's a little closer, like not full Tiny Tina,
Yeah.
but like more in that direction. Where it's like
it.
she's letting loose.
Got it.
And they also have like a lot of those, like mechanics. Like you are using your bow. You're not just hitting things. But there are, when you come across in combat and you get to where there's monsters and stuff, like you can scan them to like see their weak points.
Yeah.
And like target the weak points. And then you also have, different types of bows. So like you get like a spread shot bow.
Hell yeah.
You get like a flame bow or an ice bow.
That hunter bow.
Yeah. And then you can get different gadgets. So like one of the gadgets that you get are like blast boots. And so you get a certain like number of charges when you pick one up.
Yeah.
And you can use that to double jump, but you can also like blast boots over an enemy and like set them on fire.
Yeah.
And you can like set up things to where like you electrify enemies or freeze enemies and all that. And look, Silence, they turned into a DJ
What?
when you entered. And it's like they have this whole joke about.
This is crazy. That is the most like so. Silence is like the most overly serious character.
But they're playing
That
a
is
joke.
so
they're playing
funny.
a joke on his name because his name is Silence, right? It's like you're a DJ and your name is Silence. And he's like, no, not Silence, Silence.
So funny. He's so serious. That's so funny.
I was able to really quick look up. You can disable that Kinect controller thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Turn off second player UI when second player not in the options. There's a thing that says just turn off second player stuff when
You're
they're
a
not
hero.
active.
You're a hero, Damiani. I'm back
YouTube
in.
video.
I'm back in, dude. Thank goodness.
And then Don, I don't know if you got any of that combat in there. If you want to skip to where some of that combat was, but yeah. So they have. Here we go. Yeah. So like here's with some of the machines. Get a little frozen there.
Yeah.
And you have like it's all simple stuff, but like if you're targeting areas, you're gonna do more damage. There is the long grass, so you can hide out in the long grass a little bit.
Can you stealth kill with your spear?
That no.
Oh, what?
Have not seen any kind of stealth kills like that. Just basically one weapon per character.
That's like my favorite part of Horizon, dude, is like coming up and like spearing some freaking machine.
I mean, it could be just bad at it. That's also a potential because like
All right.
I was having a hard time like figuring like, okay, how do I take advantage of myself being in the grass?
Yeah.
But
Chill.
and then so there's a little scan thing there. And then there's little bushes. So basically you like pick fruit to heal.
Yeah.
And if you eventually there's not going to be any more fruit on that tree, so you got to kind of watch that.
Oh, those bastards are so hard in the main games. Is there a hub?
Yeah, so there's a full hub town that you go back to between every level.
So they're levels then.
Yeah,
Got it.
So basically, like there are different regions.
Yeah.
And when you go up to a region, then it'll show kind of like Mario 64. It'll show it's like you're on this gold brick.
Yeah.
And so you go through the level, and at the end of the level, there's a gold brick that you pick up. And then the number of gold bricks that you have determines different upgrades that you have access to, as well as different buildings and stuff in the hub town. Here's some of the upgrade things here.
Nice.
And so you can like go around the town and like set all these decorations. And there's a bunch of Horizon themed decorations, but then there's also like other Lego sets that are in there. So that like you have like the Lego City Undercover stuff in there. You have the Ninjago.
Ninjago.
And then you could take like and there's like a kind of like a job board thing in there with like different missions to give you like bonus gold bricks and things like that too. And so some of those will be like doing things in combat, like kill this many enemies with gadgets or whatever. But some of them will be things around town. So there's one where it's like feed the chickens or whatever. And so what you could do is you can like build a hot dog cart on one spot, and he'll just toss hot dogs out at you.
So the buildings are functional.
And then you like take the hot dogs over to the chickens, and then when enough chickens have been fed, then you fulfilled that thing on the job board.
Okay.
And the hub expands with more options and things like that as you
Dude, the Ninjago shit is
complete
sick.
levels.
What the hell?
And then that's kind of nice too, is that like even when they're locked, you can still see like what's coming up. Yeah. And so like there's different roofs and different like little placemats, the little yards for each building, and then different color schemes that you can unlock too. And then there are also like your character customization as well. So you can change Aloy to like all of these
as some like prisoner dude. Aloy the prisoner.
Crook, firefighter. And then, but there are also story unlocks too. So you unlock different characters with different weapons. Like Tirsa has like little grenades.
Nice.
And the other guy has like spears and stuff.
Aloy the fucking cop. What?
But it's just, I don't know. Like, it's one of those games that it's like, it's so simple and you get it right away.
It seems hard to put down in
but it's still
some weird
fun.
way.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, I can do another level because the level's like 10, 15 minutes, you know.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, it looks really cozy. I really appreciate franchises, especially ones this big and important, you know? Like to Sony, right? This is one of their main pillars.
Right.
I appreciate when they expand into different genres. Like we got a VR game.
Right.
Now we got a Lego game. Alo's in Fortnite. Like I like that.
Yeah. And I think you can really feel like the care and attention to details. I mean, like even like look, these trees are like swaying in the wind, right? It's a freaking Lego game, you know? It's like you don't need to have physics, but like they went all out on this stuff and it looks really nice.
Wait, who's the developer?
I think that
like is it Gorilla is the primary?
Yeah, I think so. Like I don't know fully off the top of my head if there's anyone else that worked on it, but I think definitely there are people from Gorilla working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. And you know, and there's the fact that like it's on Switch as well.
Yeah. Got to see that version.
Studio Gobo. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks,
Chill.
Damiani.
Studio Gobo.
But yeah, a lot of love for the franchise, a lot of love for Lego, and like I said, it hits that good tone of like having that Lego humor without like feeling like kind of like you know like that's a bad joke or anything like that. It's like they're definitely dad jokes.
Yeah,
but they got him in the right. They got him in the right space somehow.
The Lego games are one of those things where it's like Pokemon, where I've like tried so damn hard so many times to get in because they always look amazing. And they do pretty well critically. And it's like, yo, Lord of the Rings, I love Lord of the Rings. Like, Star Wars, I love Star Wars. Like, Undercover, freaking GTA vibes. Like, I'm in, and I can just, like...
The Undercover was really good.
That one's the best one, for sure. But, like, even Lord of the Rings, it's like, I just kind of fell off there, you know? They kind of just drag. I feel like a lot of them are really bloated.
Yeah, I think that's something that I have not gotten that same feeling with this one so far.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like a lot of the TT Lego games have had that, like, there's the story, and then there's this, like, endless number of things that you kind of have to grind to unlock. Yeah. And with this so far, it feels rewarding. It doesn't feel like you're getting locked out of a ton of things. It's like, oh, nope, you need to have this guy with this ability to come to. It's like, no, that garbage isn't there.
Yeah.
So I do think that they've gotten the pacing settled a little better with this, and with the caveat that I've only played through like the first zone and like half of the second, but it feels better so far on that level.
Sick.
And I think the controls feel tighter too, even though it's still simple.
Yeah. Cool translation of, mechanics into the Lego
Right.
version, top-down Legos, and it's like, oh, still shooting those weak points, like still hiding in that grass. It's so cool.
Yeah. We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
When you think about the brands that you really like, like Allbirds or Cotopaxi or Skims or whatever, obviously you think about their brand, their products, you think about their marketing. But do you ever think about the business behind the business? The business that makes shopping there, buying there, selling for them really easy? Well, that business, for millions of businesses, is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So, if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Allbirds and Cotopaxi use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/allies to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/allies.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. Don.
Yes.
So you kind of ruined my transition last week, but I got to bring it up again. Because last week we had Atomic Picnic, and then we were going to have ants, but you weren't ready to talk about the ants, so we couldn't bring the ants to the picnic.
Oh, it would have been so good. Can you imagine thumbnail blood? We'll never see it.
Damn it.
We'll never
We
see
had
that
it.
thumbnail.
But
Dang it.
tell us about Empire of the Ants, because I really I only vaguely know about this
This game looks sick.
It does look really pretty.
Yes, I was immediately attracted to this game, as I think a lot of people were, because of how pretty it looks. It's good you bring that up, Blood. I mean, just looks shockingly beautiful, and I think it was a great choice for them to go with this photorealistic look.
And this is a footage from a laptop we're looking at, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a laptop running. My laptop chugging along.
Chugging along.
It
Getting
looks
done.
great. I mean, everyone, I think at least most people, have a desire at some point to experience the world from the size of an ant. It's just magical,
Absolutely.
right? Terra firma, we're so familiar with all of this, yet
Thin Ant Dawn.
there it is,
On the
30,
Super
40 years
Nintendo.
ago. Who knows how long I was addicted to that. A lot of people were also. But, yeah, so just the appeal of it, I think, is very desirable, and they pull it off. So here we are, shrunken down in the world of ants, and they're nice big zones you're kind of in. Here you see I'm arriving sort of at a hub area. There are icons visible, which are helpful. And, you receive missions by having little conversations with ants here.
So
you can
funny.
get all kinds of information. There's a big story at play here, okay?
Dude.
Sort of
Okay.
the catalyst is this dam broke, and it created this flood.
Whoa.
Water is an enemy to the ants. But there's other layers there, Huber. I mean, we're wondering why this dam broke. Perhaps it wasn't a natural occurrence. Perhaps there's other
Fucking
critters.
humans.
Well, there might be critters, other kinds of critters. Termites are not a friend of ants.
Dude, if the final boss is a bear,
oh, I hope so.
you have to swarm it.
It might go that big. Here you see, so one of the things, there's scattered objects. You walk around the object, as you can see, picking up little points across it until you kind of scan enough of it, and you reveal sort of what the objects are. Here you see some of the other things you can scan in the world. Memory, pheromones. They're these holographic memories that play out as you find them that reveal some of this complex plot we're exploring. And all those other critters, as you saw, friend and foe alike, okay, that all these little critters crawling under the underbrush. Here's the water. Very dangerous. Look how quick you die.
Oh,
Boom,
yeah.
Oh,
dead.
no.
So you got to stay away from
Itsy
the
bitsy
water
spider, dude.
at all costs. Yeah, itsy bitsy spider. We come across some itsy bitsy spiders, and they're terrifying when there's like 1,000 of them coming at you. You'll see here soon. So we're crawling around the underbrush, taking on missions, and there's a whole variety of missions. Now look, it's a real-time strategy game at heart, at core, but here there's a whole variety of things. So like here, for instance, I'm using my pheromone abilities, which can do many different things in this game. But one of the things you can do is sort of telepathically communicate with other wayward ants. So here I'm finding some stragglers that got separated from the colony. The water is rising, so I'm not finding these critters fast enough. They're telling me ant number 184,399 just passed away, things like that.
Dude.
So there's pressure here. We're high stakes.
It's in real time? The water rises like that?
Everything's in real time in this game. It's sick. And a lot of times you'll have a timer on
Dude.
screen, which ratchets up the
What?
pressure, but...
Freaking Shenmue.
Here we're in a hole. Look how exciting this hole is. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen
no,
such
like
an
there's
appealing hole?
crazy slugs and beetles and
All kinds of
spider
crazy
webs.
spiderweb dangers lurk around every corner.
Jeez.
Right now, I'm
that's
trying
a firefly.
to make contact with fireflies. So the camera is an important thing to talk about here. You know, you stick to any surface you pretty much make contact with. So you got to get adjusted to this camera. I would say it's very well done, but it takes some orientation. You know, Damiani may not like this. He may look away from the screen on portions of this because it can be pretty kooky when you're spinning it all around at every angle of perception, but you get used to it. The only time you don't stick to the ground is when you start running. There's like a run button. You can race along. Then you can fly off objects. It's a little dangerous. It all centers around your nests, though. Look at these. There are these nests, and you have a whole series of things that you can upgrade in your nest. Okay, you can create wood farms and create resources that you
Nest
need.
gunners? What?
Yeah, nest of gunners. What
does that mean?
These are legions of ants that fire projectiles.
Oh my God.
They're epic. It's very nice. Yeah, and you have different levels, different tiers of gunners, different tiers of all your legions.
How many nests do you have like this?
You can get a whole bunch, Huber.
Do they all upgrade separately, independent of each other?
Yes.
Oh,
some of the
that's tough.
stuff, well, some of it is shared, Huber. So like
Okay,
storage,
okay.
certain things, but certain things related to like the Legion is specific to that nest. But certain upgrades like storage, for instance, it'll upgrade it across the board, things like that.
Nice,
So it
nice.
kind of depends. So here you see I have some of my upgraded tiers of different, veteran gunners, veteran warriors, veteran workers. They all do stuff just like any real-time strategy.
Have you had the
StarCraft.
privilege of taking an audience with the Queen?
I was going to ask that.
Yes,
Have you seen the
yes,
Queen?
yes. I didn't put any of that footage in here, but you
Is
can
it epic as hell?
face to face. It's epic, and it's just and the graphics. You want to talk about graphics when you're at a microscopic level and you're face to face with this queen.
How big is she?
She's larger than you. I'll just put it that way.
Okay, awesome.
But an
James Cameron, he
imposing
was onto
demeanor.
something?
An imposing demeanor, for sure. More imposing than her scale, I would say. Okay, so you show respect. There's actually a hilarious achievement related to the queen that I don't want to spoil here, but
Sick.
it's super funny when you start interacting with the queen. And here you see. So here's some of the real time strategy. You're on.
Yo, it
the
looks like you're about to get
battlefield.
wiped out here,
No,
dude.
those are my beetles. These are
Oh!
my friends. Yeah, those
Wow.
are those are some boar beetles. Or
Dude,
something.
Uneasy
Door
Alliance?
beetles. Yeah, we've got. I'm telling you, you have friend and foe, just like the animal kingdom. And some of these termites, some of these firebugs, ladybugs. Believe it or not, these are all villains in this universe.
Can you trade between species? Like, do you have trade routes?
I don't know if I'd call it trade routes, but there's
Okay.
like support. They're like different species
Dude.
can support. You can provide support to other species depending how you're coordinating them. Here I'm on a stealth mission right now. There's stealth involved. Okay, so I'm sneaking around. Now, when this stage, this area that you load into began, there were no icons visible whatsoever. So as I'm searching around secretly, I'm discovering these different enemy factions and objects and nests. I'm identifying them, gathering intel, essentially. And some of it, you've got to be very careful. For instance, there's this pile of walnuts or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm scanning around. But as you can see, talking about those miniature spider mites or whatever you mentioned earlier, look at that legion of spider mites I'm trying to avoid.
Oh,
no.
jeez.
If they get close to me, it gets terrifying. So I'm trying to
Freakers, dude. Days gone.
rapidly kind of identify what this pile of objects is, and there it is. It's actually a wood resource, so that's something that can be collected, and then I'm hightailing it out of there, hiding before those spider mates get to me. So here I'm on my own, right? But then there's other missions like this, where I'm doing some sort of resource gathering. You see in the top
Some bird
right,
nest here, yeah.
I'm trying to obtain certain amounts of these different things. And there's that timer, 1920. Now look, this is a 20-minute mission. I'm going to say this about this game. The challenge gets up there quick. It doesn't,
Yikes.
pull many punches. So like this mission, for instance, I had to do several times. 20 minutes at a sitting, you can easily spend a couple hours on one mission.
Damn.
And you're trying to figure out, you think like, oh, maybe there's 100 different ways to solve this same thing. And it's sort of like not the case. You got to really trial by error and do it exactly right. And it comes down to the second in many, 10 seconds left in many cases. So here you're seeing some of the upgrades, economy, intelligence, information. It helps cartographers. You help with mapping skills, revealing certain things about the map. And these are all upgrades that you can do through your nests that are critical. So on this mission, I was trying to figure out strategy of like, how do I get all these resources within the right amount of time? Because it's a crazy balancing act where you're spending resources to build this and then how long that takes to build, and just like any real-time strategy. Very well balanced, very tough. This jumping, you're navigating across stuff. Jumping becomes key, and under time pressure, you have to be really precise. So here I'm battling, I'm managing a thing on two fronts. Across this body of water, there's like two different areas that I have to simultaneously manage. Some of the stuff you can direct from afar, like troops and stuff, you can assign to attack things from afar just by,
Kill the ladybugs is a mission?
Ladybugs are nasty as hell.
Oh,
in
yeah.
this.
Ew.
You think ladybugs
And Grounded,
are peaceful?
we had trouble with them too.
Holy crap, they're vicious as hell and pretty tough. Here you see some ladybugs, a little colony hiding behind this rock, and now here you see I'm directing some of my legions to come in here. They're going to go to war for me. And so oftentimes you find yourself on little, raised up places like this. You try to get nice perspective as you sort of coordinate battles from afar, but you also have to stay in proximity because you're using cooldown. In your bottom left, you end up getting all sorts of different consumable items, upgradable powers that are then on cooldowns, but you need to be within the zone of your legion to be activating these. So you'll see here, I think in a second, I probably use one on some of these guys. I'll pump them up so that they can try to take out some of these ladybugs. But it's a vicious situation. Here you see now another legion is coming in on this way.
So
they're attacking,
intense.
and this is all a battle for that resource, that leaf. Here you go. See, so within that range,
Yo, is that some
I
bloodlust
use
move?
rage pheromones.
Hell
right?
yeah.
So yeah, these guys are going bonkers now. Look at them laying waste to these ladybugs. There's some really great humor. They'll like be body slamming the other bugs and doing all kinds of like crazy, exaggerated, violent moves. This is a cool. So there's like I said, there's a big variety of mission types here now on this one. Sometimes, and you go back and forth between your hub, but like here, for instance, they just give you a whole bunch of different legions already unlocked, already powered up, and you have to sort of coordinate multiple battles on many different fronts to defend many different nests simultaneously. And here you see they have the waves up in the top right corner, so you have to survive these waves. There you see some of the gunners in action right there, firing those green projectiles. Yeah, here's some more.
It's like
gunners.
Rome Total War here, dude. What?
It could get very intense, and some of the because of the graphic fidelity and the animation quality and everything, it can get really fun when you have just like thousands of these bugs all moving across the landscape, in different sort of areas. So here I'm just defending these. Door beetles are tough as hell. They're very good. But so here I'm moving between multiple battlefronts, coordinating, and now and you have to use this rapid movement. See, you're so up against the gun with some of this timing stuff that you really have to be precise.
Wild.
Or you fall behind quickly.
Don.
Yeah.
What is the largest creature that you have taken down?
It's all been bugs so far, but there have been some like large spiders I've come across.
Freaky.
And larger sort of. I guess that's not a bug, right? So, but is a spider a bug?
It really depends on how you define bug.
Okay. Well,
bug is a very specific class of insect.
Yeah, insects.
So no,
I guess
not.
it's all been insects so far.
Spiders are not insects.
I haven't seen a human yet. There's been a lot of questions of like, would there be something like that in this world? I don't know. So I haven't come across anything like that yet. It's all been insectoid type stuff.
Sick.
So. And that includes flying insects. But there's all kinds of different creatures in the world, and a lot of them are benevolent that aren't involved in battles. There's like snails. Oh, there was this awesome early on. There's like a snail rustling mission where it's an escort mission essentially where you have to escort this slow moving snail through this whole ravine sort of area while you're being attacked in multiple, just like any good escort. But it's awesome because as I crossed the finish line, I just like jumped on the snail and like rode it in while I'm coordinating my, you can like swivel the camera around and you're directing different legions as you're riding the snail and stuff.
Don Casanova, Snail Cowboy.
Super
I think,
epic.
Better than a bear final boss, the final boss should actually be a human with a magnifying glass.
Oh, humor! That would be freaking
That's like canon.
Golden eye,
Yeah.
firing down this like scorching laser.
Yeah.
That'd be so rad. I didn't even think of that. That'd be the magnifying glass.
That's like the canon final boss.
Oh my god! So that would be excellent. Yeah. So the game, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's awesome. I didn't know. It looked like when we saw the trailer for it, we're like, what is this game? Is it everything? But it's essentially a real-time strategy game for the most part. Most of it is like these coordinated war efforts you're doing. But they have a nice variety of things. And as the game goes on, you go to new biomes. The biomes open up larger, and more of these elements get combined into single missions. So you're not doing so much like, individual tasks, but you've got a whole array of things you're sort of managing. So been digging it a lot. It's awesome.
Dope.
Nice.
Just on PC right now, right? PC exclusive?
I believe
Is it early access or is it full release?
Look that up, actually.
What's going on?
It's a full release now. It's out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let me look up, actually.
But I don't know.
I'm not
I don't
sure
know
if
for
it's
sure if it's on
anything
any
else. Yeah.
consoles, but it might be.
I'll let you know.
Steam. Okay, it's coming to Empire Ants.
Yeah.
Only looks like it's on
on Steam.
right now. I believe
Great.
that's.
Although it keeps saying.
Oh, no,
other
Xbox- no,
platforms.
hold on now.
PlayStation 4.
Wait, yeah, an
it's on
official
everywhere?
PS5 Pro enhanced title.
Yeah.
Even Switch.
Yeah.
It's coming to Switch.
PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and 24.
It has Switch listed also. I don't know.
Pro
The
enhanced.
Switch release date.
I don't know how the heck this thing's going to run on Switch.
Yeah, Steam,
think-
PlayStation, and Xbox now.
I don't
Wow.
see Switch.
Switch
yeah.
2, dude. Switch 2.
Maybe that's a
Yeah,
leak,
I'm
yeah.
not seeing Switch.
Switch 2.
What is on Switch? I've been playing a little bit of Mario and Luigi Brothership.
I still don't know if
Need
I
to
love or
hear about
despise
this.
this name.
Oh, the name?
I don't know if I really, really love it or if it really bugs me.
I think it's good, and it fits because the whole premise of this game is honestly the opening cutscene is a little bit weird because there's like next to no explanation. You just get like some wormhole like sucks Mario and Luigi off to this other world.
Classic.
But you are you're in this world where there was this continent that got disconnected, and it's been broken apart into all of these different islands. And so you're on the hub is the central island called Ship Island, and in the center of it is the Unitree.
The Unitree.
And it's shaped like a sail, so it's basically navigating the oceans.
Got it.
And you look through different currents to find the other islands, and then you've got to go onto an island and then go to the lighthouse on that island, and there is like a plug there, and then like once you activate the plug, it flies back to the hub island and connects, and then that opens up things there and everything, and then they all are like connected and sailing around the ocean together.
Got it.
But I really like the visual direction on this. It has a very nice kind of like cartoony
Looks
style to it. Like
yeah, I love it.
Luigi logic is a really funny thing that they've introduced here. And so basically Luigi will just get an idea, and like half the time it's just either very obvious but weird. And so like this is like, oh, we can't get through the bars, so I'm just gonna squeeze through, and you basically just have to keep mashing B for Luigi to squeeze through the bars
He's
and hit the
not
switch
wrong.
on the other side.
That kind of rules. There's so many times I think about that in games. Like, just fit through.
Right.
Just go through. I love that.
But it's just so like it's just funny, just like how intense some of the animation and stuff can be in there. And then like here's another thing. It's like you'll have like little like brothers moments where like you can just like push the L button for Luigi to go run off over here and do something, and then you run the other direction.
Jolly.
Or there will be like places where like he can like if there's like a batch of turnips to pull or like some blocks to smash or whatever, you can just hit the L button and he'll go and do it automatically. And then so you can kind of like divide up the work a little bit.
Nice.
There's some other, so like there's puzzles too where it's like, okay, Luigi, you stand here, and then I'll go over here and like flip the switch down and knock you up into the air, or like you pick up something and then you can pass it over to him. And so lots of like little of these sort of like
Yeah.
kind of like brothers.
Just gonna say,
Right?
brothers, yeah.
So it's like it's co-op but not co-op. It's like because you're controlling both brothers.
Yeah.
But you can do all these little interactions together. And then here even the wall jumping, it's like A button, B button, A button, B button.
It's fun.
And this is a scene where you're picking the different currents to go along, and then you blast out to the next island.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun.
What the hell?
You get into the cannon, and like, all right, we're going to the next place. We're going to connect it.
Unhinged.
But it's interesting on the map because it's like they'll be doing like their little laps around their certain current, and like you've got to like, direct the ship-shape island to get over there.
Got it.
But yeah, this is how the block switching works.
Nice.
It does have the thing where you can like get an advantage
Jump on 'em.
on an enemy by jumping on them or whacking them with the hammer. But I would say, like, Metaphor really makes me wish they did the thing where, like, if an enemy's too weak, just, like, wipe them out.
Yep.
Because I think that's one of the things that, like, kind of, like, makes the game a little bit more... tedious side is that, like, your attacks, like, they're always, like, these dual, like, attacks where it's like, okay, A button, then B button, then A button. And it's just like, that's it. Like, that's your basic attack is you always have to be active. And there's so many battles that it's like, this is the exact same group of enemies that I fought the last 3 times that I'm just like kind of going through the motions a little bit. And as I'm going, then like it starts adding like, okay, now I've got the hammers. Like, okay, now I've got the shells. So there are like more strategies that kind of mix things up because like if you hit an enemy with a jump, then they'll like block their face or they'll block their head. And so then you have to hit them with the hammer in the face.
Oh, nice.
And stuff. So you kind of have to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
But it's not getting mixed up enough yet. And I've heard some other people that have gotten farther into it say it has a slow start. So I'm like, maybe I'm still in the slow start phase of it.
Yeah.
But some of that stuff definitely feels a little bit more on the tedious side in terms of combat. But there are other things that are fun too, like these little boar guys. Sometimes they'll call in a big boar into the battle, and like the team up attacks, like they do feel kind of good to get that rhythm back and forth. It was like hammer goes back, hit the button, next hammer hits it, fly into the guy. It's just you have to repeat
the
that
attack animations are
so
sick.
Much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's where it's like it just you don't have any way that feels like it speeds things up at any
and
point.
it seems very deliberate too, pretty slow. You got to watch the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of like I think the biggest kind of criticism I've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
I really dig the music. A lot of like it's kind of like Mario Kart 8, where it has like a lot of brassy stuff in there and just like real fun, like kind of ska beats and that sort of thing. And a lot of that stuff's just like really like this like battle themes and level up themes and all of that. Just like we're having a good time here.
Yeah.
And any opportunity for a joke, just constant little like
Quips.
You're talking about like they're like these little like lumen spirits. Oh yeah, Luigi logic in a boss battle. This is great.
Okay, sick.
Very unique like attack where like Luigi flies at the guy and then Mario hits
home run, dude.
the thing and then Luigi hits it too.
Yo.
And then he's just knocked down for a while. But it's a really complicated sequence that you have to like get. Like I missed it the first time. Right.
Got it.
So you have to really have your timing down on some of that stuff.
Yeah, good crit.
And there are some other things in this boss battle too, where they're like stones falling from the sky, and like you kind of have to watch really carefully for like which side it's going to come down on and which button to hit.
Great looking enemy.
Yeah. So it's got the style, it's got some of the vibes, but it does have a lot of things that just feel like it just sort of like gums up the works a little bit here and there.
Gums up the works.
Like it's one of those games where like you get like, okay, we're gonna walk forward a little bit, and up on the conversation. Oh,
Yep.
Here's a cutscene
Yep.
of some little thing that probably doesn't need to be a cutscene necessarily.
Pacing is key.
Yeah. So, but I think it's all right. Definitely, maybe should get some more time into it. But I think it's all right.
Yeah. Maybe play Dragon Quest 3 over this one.
Yes, I would say. Like immediately was having a better time with Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah.
With that than I was with this.
Yeah.
How is the performance again? Because that's the one thing I'm seeing a pretty constant on from people who are posting about their impressions is that it's having like they're just encountering like performance issues in the game.
I haven't
It's kind
had
of, like,
anything that stood out to me.
very interesting because it seems to be like pretty universal complaint about the game that has poor performance and that it's a slow start and eventually it picks up and yeah.
That's interesting because I haven't had anything that felt like kind of moments, right? Like
M-Bun in our live chat is talking about some like a lot of load time issues being one of the performance issues.
yeah, like that.
maybe?
Yeah, none of that stuff is really, at least from what I've played so far, and I put in 4 or 5 hours or so. Like it's been fine, I think. But I think it is like a little bit, obviously like a bit
Yeah,
lower
sorry, load
budget than
time
maybe
specifically,
certain
yeah.
things, some other games. But like with Echoes of Wisdom, we had some like performance nags and stuff like that, and I definitely felt that.
And bad loading.
With this one, I like it. It hasn't stuck out to me. I haven't been looking for it, but it hasn't stuck out to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The loading stuff just strikes me. I mean, because these games don't like. I don't.
Yeah, I think because it's.
I don't like to go to like saying it's switchy. I don't like to use that word, but at the same time, like for me, I like the thing that always bugs me the most about Switch and its aging hardware is the loading times. Like visual fidelity, I can kind of like write off as long as like the gameplay is really strong and good. But when I'm waiting forever for just to load into something that everything else now for a few years now has just been insta load or very quick, very fast load times. It's like seeing a game that looks like this, like it to me, I would be like, this should not have any kind of loading issues whatsoever. But then we looked at Link's Awakening 2019 and Echoes of Wisdom, which is what Echoes of Wisdom uses for its graphics engine. We're like, why would a Switch have any problem running this type of game? And it's like, So, I mean, it just seems like it's maybe just a sign of its aging hardware.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think it could also be a sign of just aging expectations in a way, because now that like Xbox and PS5 are fully solid state drives, like we've gotten used to the instant load times that were like, oh, this is huge when the console generation launched, and Switch predates all of that. So that was like just normal loading times
Sure.
feel longer
Good
than they
perspective.
used to.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I was trying to read like the people who were so it was load times. They were not like visual performance issues,
Got
but
it.
like load times and the slow start, which you mentioned. But while I was reading like those bookmarks, I had Huber, just to give you like something about this. Our friend Ash Paulson, who also was talking about like the slow start and the loading times, said when it picks up and finds its legs, it really blossoms. They said, "I love the surprisingly Kingdom Hearts coded vibes."
Shit. Brothership, dude. Let's go. Bonds.
We got Huber back.
Yeah. I'm always in for Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. Some other
Always.
little like just quick mechanical things. Every so often on a level up, like level 8 and like level 15, you'll also get to choose like a perk, and they make it very clear that like there's a limited number of opportunities to do this. So
Most
like,
Dragon Quest had that.
so like the ones that I went with the first time, just because like, no, I've got to do this, is like getting an extra like accessory slot so that you can have 2 accessories instead of 1.
Just straight buffs.
But yeah, there's like HP buffs and defense buffs and like all kinds of other different perks that like you can only pick when you get to those milestones.
Nice.
And then the other little thing is it has kind of like an achievement system, and I haven't seen where you can see like a list, but like every once in a while it'll be like you completed this challenge, and it's like getting certain number of like hammer attacks or a certain number of dodges or whatever, and you'll get like the little little ribbon at the top of the screen, and it'll drop a gift box into the battle to give you like a new item specific to that challenge, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so maybe it'll pick up more. Like, I'm not like super down on it, but like you're saying, it's like, if you're gonna play Dragon Quest 3 or you're gonna play this, I'm gonna side with Dragon Quest 3 right now. It's like, but yeah. And the last one talking about today, Huber,
Yo.
you got into the deep end of Metal Slug Tactics.
Jesus.
What kind of reaction?
This game is hard as frick.
As Metal Slug tends to be, but then you put that into a strategy environment.
Dude. First of all, when you start this game, you have to learn an entirely different language. Like most games, there's a lot of abilities and words that mean, adrenaline and hero ability. Just like you have to learn a lot. It's in the Metal Slug universe. It is a tactical game, and the primary combat system is about mobility. So it's about moving and attacking. The more you move, the more defense you have.
Oh, okay.
It'll raise your defense. When you go a certain amount of spaces away, you'll get more defense for the next turn. So you'll take less damage. There's also cover, which really helps. The main objective is to finish like 4 big zones. It's a roguelite, so it's a new run every time.
Okay.
You choose 3 heroes, and you got to beat like these 4 main zones. I'm only on the first zone. It's like a desert. Basically, you have to win 3 stages. You can choose which stage you go to. Each stage has different rewards. The rewards are like, we're going to give you more XP. We're going to give you meta currency. We're going to give you more ammo for your special weapons. Stuff like that. Each mission has different objectives as well. Some will be like, kill these specific targets. Some will be kill every enemy. Some will be just survive a certain amount of turns. And
those are the hard ones.
Very hard.
Surviving missions in a strategy game.
Jesus.
It's like, there's another one.
Yep.
In addition to running and gunning, being mobile, it's all about synchronized attacks. So if you attack somebody within range of one of your teammates, they'll both attack. So it's all about these sync attacks. It's about staying mobile and syncing up your attacks is the name of this entire game. I finally got a Metal Slug. I played this morning, and I finally got a Metal Slug. It was on the map.
Yes.
Got in it. It uses fuel to move into attack. It's freaking strong. It's so awesome as it should be. And then we got to on stream, we got to the first boss, which again highlights mobility. It's on like a little dock area. It's a giant ship. And after a certain amount of turns, like some of the docks will fall into the water. So you got to like move around.
Got it. Yeah.
But man, this game is so hard. Holy crap. Like unforgiving, punishing, uncompromising. We're playing on the basic difficulty because you have to like win on the basic difficulty to even unlock the next one.
Do you think that plays into the roguelite?
Hear me out.
Do you think that after a couple of runs, all of a sudden it's going to start feeling easier?
Yes and no.
Okay.
One of my least favorite things about some roguelites is when you get your meta currency, you're dying a shitload, and then you finally upgrade things, and like you can't even feel it, dude. You don't even know. Like a lot of these upgrades are like change your starting loadout with a character. Like, okay, that's not really going to help me all that much. It's going to change how I play, but it's not going to like help me with stat buffs. It's not going to make me survive longer. Other things too. You can like buy abilities that will then have a chance to be picked when you finish a map, when you finish a mission.
Right.
Some of those are like a little stronger, but they mainly just change the way you play. And to me, that's really demoralizing when a game is asking you to replay these same levels over and over. And it's like, don't worry, like you're going to get some currency and get stronger. And it's like, no, I'm not really going to though.
Right.
At least in Darkest Dungeon, something like that, or Rogue Legacy, it's like, okay, I just died for 2 hours. Like I just played 2-3 hours and friggin' lost. Like, guess what? Guess what? Next time I'm going to have 20% more HP.
Right.
I'm going to do better. You know what I mean? Like that, like Hades, dude. Like that's the kind of roguelite I like. Not a roguelite that is like, oh, well, maybe next time you can use like a different gun. It's like, no, like that doesn't really do it for me. So I mean,
there's some of that in Hades as well.
Of course, but Hades also has like, you're just stronger now. You're just more durable. Like that shit to me in a roguelite is essential because it's asking you to die and to repeat, to die and to repeat. Hell, even Dark Souls, dude. Like, you die a bunch. Okay, well, at least I'm going to gain a level up here by killing some enemies. Now I have more HP. Now I'm more confident. Now I feel like I'm not wasting all of my time, So this game is tough, dude. It's tough, and I need to maybe play. I'm gonna give it a little more chance because I do want to see if some of this roguelite stuff will kind of sand down those brutal edges. But right now, it's just a tough ask, dude. I don't know. It's a tough ask for me. I really like I love the vibes.
Yeah, hearing you talk about hard difficulty and stuff like that.
Right.
When you're all about like
exactly.
It is like
draconic mode just a few minutes
necessarily
ago.
about hard difficulty. You're about tailoring the difficulty to a level and scaling it to a point where you like it.
Yeah, where it feels like possible.
Yeah.
Right now, to me, this game feels hopeless, dude. I think Don can attest a little bit too. I know.
Yeah, Don.
Yeah, I played through the demo, which basically goes through the whole first level to that last boss. It's like that's the thing. You're totally right, Huber. Is a lot of the elements you're getting aren't helping you. Like with this game, I just basically found I had to really live, die, repeat, and then it's all about though, like really discovering like positioning strategies because with those sync attacks and stuff like that, and also little things like if you can get the metal slug, certain advantages on the play field can have a huge like change on how easy, but it's asking a lot because like what you said, Huber, sometimes you got to go through these missions which take a lot of time. Yeah. And then you're just like brutally killed at the end. You're like, no.
Totally. I mean, you can play over an hour and on it, like that's the worst.
At first, when I played that end boss, I felt the first few times I died, I felt hopeless. I said, this is impossible. I was like, what in the hell? How can I even move out of these dock zones quick enough before they collapse? It seemed impossible. Yeah. And then like suddenly, like after repeating it, I probably played that boss. I don't remember a few times over. Okay. Like,
but you started to get
some
it?
lights do come off. Yeah. But it is like trial and repeat, and it can be a little frustrating for sure. Just
I have a question that kind of like will play into this.
Yeah.
Are the maps? Do you fight on the same maps, or are the maps shuffled up every time?
They're pretty much the same.
Okay, so you can learn them to a degree.
Yeah, they look a little different, and I feel like the unit placement might be a little different sometimes. Maybe.
At first, I thought it was, but then I remembered I think it was kind of like the same because when I did have to replay a lot of times, I just would figure out strategies that I'd set it like repeat.
Got it. Okay.
But what was it? It's been so long because I played it in the summer, so I'm trying to remember. There was something key, though. There is like an RNG, though, with some of the place, like that metal slug stuff. I was trying to remember what generates the metal slugs, Huber. Do you remember?
No, one of them was just on a level I played once.
Yeah, he just got one.
There is some like RNG stuff with like power-ups on screen and stuff, because I remember sometimes there'd be a metal slug available and sometimes it wouldn't, and that would make like a huge difference and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just can't remember the details of it because it was like, a few months ago when I played.
Yeah, dude.
So and that's the whole thing. Like, the moment to moment gameplay of it is like neat, and like the look of it is awesome.
Yeah. But But when your genre is a roguelite and to me your roguelite stuff is not great, I think I'm going to be extra harsh. Like if this was just a tactical game, no roguelite elements whatsoever, I think I'd be a little more high on it.
Got it.
But like it's not the type of roguelite that I love, you know what I mean? But like in terms of just like, yo, this is a tactical game where we're just like syncing up, taking cover and taking out enemies in the Metal Slug universe, like good. Really good. So I just got to see how the overall progression really shakes out over the long term. So I'm going to put a couple more hours into it, hopefully check back in. Yeah, but initially, man, the punishing difficulty with the lack of reward and the lack of hope is pretty intense. What were you going to say, Don?
Oh no, yeah, I just remember. Also, there's like a lot of environmental stuff you can activate.
Right.
There's like a lot of stuff like that, and so like I remember I had to like really figure out a way to like take full advantage of like the cobras and the baskets. If you hit someone near the like cobra will like give an extra strike to the enemy, and then like all kinds of like destructive.
Drop in the like crane boxes
on top of people. Yeah, things like that. So like but tough for sure. Yeah,
really tough. So. Yeah, I mean, it's Metal Slug, so, like, the aesthetic is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, in that trailer, like, all the bosses they were showing was, like, crazy, dude.
A little, like, this game is just built for a tiny little level editor, though. You know what I mean? Absolutely built for it. And I think something like that, if they included, would help so much also with some of the frustrations regarding it. Because if you could tool around a little with all the stuff, you could kind of develop some strategies like in a backwards kind of way that, you know what I mean? And it seems
reverse engineer it, dude.
Yeah, exactly. and because of the, like, how the levels are designed, it just feels so simple for, like, drag and drop kind of, like, moving around and kind of work. Be interesting if they add something like that down the line.
And again, full disclosure, like I'm just learning still, so my take might change. Like even Zailerino was like, Huber, dude, you're not using your like bonus action properly, like zero cost. But like also there's just like there's a little bit of UI stuff in this game that disagrees with my brain. Like some stuff should be a little simpler than it.
Yeah, it's
seems.
A lot to take in.
And I'm like. But I'm like, I have a bonus action to move, but it's not letting me move anywhere. But it says I have a movement, but it literally will not let me move anywhere. What is going on? And then I go to end turn, and it's like, you still have an action. And then I'm like, okay, wait, let me see. Like, okay, I have a movement. Can't move anywhere. What's going on? So I'm like, there's just some weird things I gotta figure out. You can undo your move before you attack, which is really nice. So it's friendly there. Little redo.
Nice.
So... I want to get back to it. I'm not giving up on it yet.
Okay.
There's something there.
Okay.
That's good. I just gotta find it.
Yeah, I remember literally it became like a thing of like figuring out, because you can basically, like you said, with those sync moves, you can sync with more than one of your little teammate too. So it's like,
the
really becomes this thing of like, how can I possibly get every single person to be like playing off of each other and have these little stage bonuses getting activated? But it's a lot of trial and error for that.
And the cover, dude, like utilizing cover. And I really like the different attacks. I love like having a pistol and machine gun, but then one of the characters has grenades and a grenade launcher, so they can throw over cover.
Right.
Their attack squares are different. They can with a grenade obviously can hit multiple people at once. So there's some really good strategy here. Just know that even on the easiest difficulty, this game will kick your ass. So,
yeah. And Don and Damiani, we do have more codes if you're interested.
Hell yeah, dude.
You make it sound so hard.
It's so hard. Yeah, Damiani, dude, it's crazy.
If you can help Huber out.
Dude, when I booted it up for the first like 20 minutes or something, I didn't even have my camera on because I turned it off. I went to a research break. I come back, I start playing. 20 minutes later, I realized my camera has been off like the whole time. I'm like, dude, I am just like locked in trying to survive and figure this game out.
Yeah, that seems like a super hard game to be streaming while learning because
Yeah,
it is like
yep.
an intense point of entry.
so
And yeah, like
intense.
I didn't watch your stream, but gosh, I can only imagine because I remember getting to that first boss and being like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
Like this is so
Yeah.
hard.
Oh, no.
Truly, dude, that first boss truly feels hopeless.
Yeah.
You're like, what is
And
he
out of-
doing?
I think I remember when I had a breakthrough, it was like almost accidental where I was like, oh, like wait, that. And then so it's that kind of game a little bit, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
like replaying, that's the thing, the time consuming level stages.
Sick. Sick. Yeah, lastly, just that roguelite element, dude. Seriously, like, there's something about playing a game for hours and then, like, having to do it again with no reward. That's the specific thing. Dragon Quest, you die, but it's like, yo, I got XP. I'm a little stronger. Dark Souls, same thing. Like, just, and you know I love hard games. I love replaying games. But when you ask me to replay the same thing over and over with no extra buff or like tangible buff, that's a hard sell.
I think it's a great point. Yep.
Also this week, GOG has announced a renewed initiative called the GOG Preservation Program, highlighting the work that they're doing to keep PC games available and running properly on modern systems.
The next step is somehow getting old MMOs to turn the lights back on. Yeah, let's do that, GOG.
That's
Could-
a lot of work.
Yes,
Yeah, they've got
that's
a-
wishful thinking. That's the end game, dude.
They've got a new landing page to see exactly what tweaks that they've made on classics like Diablo and Resident Evil 1 to 3.
Cool.
Plus some blog posts to go into a little bit more details and have some quotes from the original creators and
Great.
stuff like that. So fun stuff there. Don, yeah, go ahead and roll this. Did not expect another Monster Hunter game to get announced. Monster Hunter Outlanders is a new free-to-play mobile
I
game.
knew you were going to say free-to-play mobile. I freaking knew it.
Co-developed by Capcom and Timmy Studio. It actually does seem to be fairly legit, though, with open-world survival gameplay, supports single-player or four-player co-op. It
Is it in game right now?
yeah, this is some in-game stuff,
Where,
but
where's the gotcha?
it gets a little. It definitely gets a little switchy. I will say.
A little switchy. A little switchy.
Yeah, you get some moments where it's like, oh, yeah, look at that slide. That's a little rough.
That's not good when your newest iPhone is.
Yeah, debut trailer too. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it does have four-player co-op.
It does look ambitious as hell, blood.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like just huge.
Yeah, it looks
like
very
scale
ambitious.
that you can see at
Dang.
any given time.
Jeez.
Same studio that Timmy did the Age of Empires mobile game.
Yeah.
That's been doing really well. They're
Are we-
behind
are we
Call of
getting-
Duty mobile,
Dude, sick.
Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
So no launch date, but there's playtests coming soon.
Playtest coming soon. Are we getting Gabby in for Wilds? Are we grouping up, Gabby? We hunting?
Not that I know of.
Not
No.
that she knows of.
Well, you're in. We're signing you up. You're in. You gotta find your weapon, Gabby. You gotta find your weapon.
Sad news. Tequila Works, makers of Rhyme and publisher of the Sexy Brutale, have announced that they are filing for insolvency, basically all but shutting down, quoting, prolonged market conditions. Jeez. They recently lost some funding from Tencent, and they had to cancel a game that was in development, and essentially haven't been able to recover.
Damn.
So some of the founders have left. It sounds like there's going to be some kind of a skeleton crew there, but it's unclear like how it's going to work. Like they basically are telling like we have no money, we can't pay anybody. So
Yeah.
but
Are prolonged market conditions the same as economic headwinds?
yeah, basically,
Same thing.
basically.
Damn
But
it.
the prolonged is the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we can't get anyone to fund our game.
Dude.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of like weird little things that they've kind of been a part of. They had Guilt that was like a Stadia
GYLT
exclusive. Yep.
guilt. Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully those guys find a way to start up something new eventually because they've made some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Huber,
Yo.
3 years after the disastrous launch, a new patch
Oh yeah.
has been put out, fixing a lot of the issues in the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Of which I finished in its entirety, even back when it was shit. Yeah, I finished all 3 of those games. Hear me out. The story here for me is that Rockstar, Grove Street Games, what have you, can
who's been removed from the
that's a
logo,
whole nother
all
thing.
that stuff is gone.
Yeah. Is that they can be working on something like this with nobody's knowledge. No one knew.
Oh, sure.
Like, this came out of nowhere. This is Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, it's not 6, but this is GTA. And they were working on this, doing this, and then it just dropped, and everyone was surprised and shocked. So it's like, what the hell else is going on, Rockstar? Like, my mind started racing. It was like, dude,
Yeah.
secrets over there, man.
It doesn't sound like there were even like comprehensive patch notes as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It's like people have just been like looking at things and figuring out what's been fixed. And it's like, okay, the lighting in San Andreas looks correct now. And
Yeah.
like
So hopefully they're working on
the
that.
rain, remember the rain was terrible. And
Yeah,
like that's
oh
been
my
fixed.
God,
So,
the
like,
rain. Yeah. Hopefully they're working on Red Dead 2 remasters there.
But yeah, that was what was funny. So the original developers, like
Grove Street.
their logo is gone.
Yeah. Mike,
Yanked out of the game.
My clan in
sounds like
GTA Online
the guys
is
that
the
did
Grove
the
Street
mobile
Danger.
version. The guys that did the mobile version basically like ported the mobile version over to the console version or whatever. Yeah,
crazy. It's
wild.
legit, man.
Uh,
Glad they did that.
yeah, yeah, because it's you don't want bad versions of those games.
Exactly. Because
Floating around?
exactly like the Witcher 3. Their new one came out now. People are getting glitches in the Witcher 3 where a hammer,
Oh, you
a
were saying
literal
something about this.
blacksmith hammer, just like shows up around characters and it's just like a floating hammer. It's like in your inventory, and it's like, dude, they have no plans to fix that. They're working on Witcher 4. They're doing other shit. Like, it's not going to be fixed, and that's a bummer. Is that like
Yeah,
that's the latest version of the game?
yeah. When new bugs
You know?
get introduced, yeah.
It's horrible. So shout out to them taking even years. You know, who knows how long they were working on this to get it done.
Yeah.
Shout out. They
And
didn't have to do
especially to
that.
honor the people that already bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we give them such a hard time about GTA Online, obviously, but they did work there.
So a couple months back, we had learned that Hideaki Itsuno had left Capcom after launching the wildly successful Dragon's Dogma 2. This week we know why.
Goaty.
Kind of similar to a lot of other people that have left Japanese studios lately. He has been installed as the studio head of the brand new Lightspeed Japan studio.
Get it.
They're building up a team now that will be focused on delivering AAA action titles,
Get it.
probably like Devil May Cry.
Oh, yeah, like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, the biggest thing that Lightspeed is known for right now is PUBG Mobile, but they're also working on Last Sentinel. Lightspeed LA, I think, is doing Last Sentinel.
Which one is the last Sentinel?
We saw it at Game Awards, I think, or something like that, like a year ago. But
Chill.
yeah,
Cool.
I know, like Troy Baker was working on their motion capture and
Got it,
stuff
got
too.
it, got it,
yeah.
got it, got it.
But
Cool.
yeah, we'll be obviously a long time before we see whatever the heck they're making in Japan. But
It's just so wild seeing all these legendary
Yeah.
creators like just do their own things now, you know. It's the way. It's so good.
yeah, or get a bag of cash
Or get a bag
to,
of cash.
to do their own thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of bags of cash, another company we've been keeping an eye on doing similar things is NetEase, popping
here
up
we go.
studios all around the world. And this week, two
When you-
senior executives and
Yu
7
Suzuki.
other employees have been arrested in a money laundering scheme that involves 27 companies.
Yo, Yuji Naka.
and
Yuji
somewhere
Naka,
in
sorry,
the
Yuji
ballpark
Naka,
of
sorry,
$120 million.
Yuji Naka.
Money laundering.
The Yuji Naka crime ring.
I know it's so bad and it's such a crime and so many people are affected, but like there's
Well, Yuji
something
Naka was insider trading, which
there
is
is-
a little different.
Dude,
But,
both
man.
of them, there is something so funny about it, dude. I don't know why money laundering makes me laugh every time.
Anyways, so these execs were involved with the company's esports side of things. So far, it does not appear to be affecting any game releases because they got Marvel Rivals coming out in less than a month now, like 3 weeks away.
Yikes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they got some house cleaning to do. Holy crap!
So they've been arrested and now we're just like awaiting the trial or something. Like
Yeah,
trials.
well, I mean, but it's like China, so like who the heck knows how that goes down?
Yeah.
So
dude,
been arrested, been fired.
holy cow.
And then 27 other, I don't know, who
Was
knows
there-
what's going on with these 27 other companies.
Was there a whistleblower?
I don't know how they found out. It's been hard to get the details because, like, a lot of people have been having to, like, translate, like, Chinese news sources and all that.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it. Yep. Okay. One to watch. I'm excited for the Bloodworth updates as the months go on, for sure. Bloodworth will keep us all posted.
And then we'll end also this week on a fun one. We got a Miyamoto 10-minute guided tour of the new Donkey Kong Country section of Super Nintendo World.
That's so wholesome, dude.
Yeah.
What's that like for him, man? I mean, that's just like
I mean, he was so relaxed and having a
Yeah.
ball with all this.
dude.
Just walking around the park, showing
Just
things.
just seeing your life's work like in this way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, because, like, Donkey Kong was, like, the first big thing
Crazy.
that he was involved with.
So cool. Dude, look at this tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, he even talks about, like, it goes from bricks into, like, you know, like, stones and everything. And
So wait, this is the one in Florida?
No, this is the one in Japan.
This is Japan. Okay, this is Japan.
Yeah.
So this is going to open in Japan next
Okay,
month.
okay.
And then it will open with the Super Nintendo World in Florida in the new park next year.
Okay, and then is the USA getting the Donkey Kong area?
Yeah,
or
Florida
no?
will have Donkey Kong when it opens.
And then USA will get Donkey Kong at a later date.
Hollywood, you mean?
Yeah.
Hollywood. Does not
Hollywood,
schedule
sorry,
to get it.
Hollywood.
I thought, from what I understand, they are gonna they're gonna expand Super Nintendo World,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's gonna be like not till 2028 or something, and Donkey Kong will be in there. Is that not right, Damiani?
I don't know
2028
if it's
sounds
just
too long.
Donkey Kong, or if it might be they haven't confirmed what it will be expanding to. I think because there's other park ideas or other expansions that could be happening before then. So
Yeah, we need DK.
They might be able
dude.
to see. They might be able to see like what's a little. Bit
Dude!
Yeah, so there's
Well,
this
like
Donkey
Pokemon's
Konga
on the
mini game
list.
here, and when you beat it, Rambi pops out of a crate.
Dude! We need this. Come on, we need this.
Did you find the Switch 2 in that trailer though?
No,
They
but
hid it
there
in one
are
of
the hidden
trees.
Kong letters, Huber.
They hid in one of the
The
trees.
hidden Kong letters are all over.
That's awesome.
One of my favorite details.
You're just trolling, right, Damiani?
Oh yeah, and they have Jungle Beach shakes, so they have like some ice cream, and they got a cool hot dog in
Nice.
there. But Huber, one of my favorite
Food, one of the best parts of any theme park.
details is like in one of the lines there are like these murals on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that thing.
The mug, dude, the barrel mug.
Barrel mug.
Oh,
The waffle cone.
dude.
And then this hot dog with like Doritos in it.
I don't know about this hot
Hey.
dog.
Yeah, I don't know
can't-
about this. I love Pink's hot dogs. I love crazy, weird hot dogs. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that one
Hey,
looks fun.
I can't wait to not eat any of this stuff because you're not there in the first 5 minutes to make a reservation.
Yeah, fair.
I also
like
think-
the DK's treehouse.
I also think that they're better in Japan than in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
here
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not gonna be good. Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, that's
anyways,
right. the
what's
food
that?
won't look the same here because the food it's
yeah.
already different. So what you're seeing there, we're not even probably gonna get that here. Why you do this to
I
us?
know. How much do you think it would be to buy that costume?
Oh, that's enormous.
That
That's
professional
that
grade.
costume is so good.
I need this. I want that, dude. Oh my god. Yo, this is torture right now. Why are we watching this? Damn it.
There's also Huber. There's an animatronic Cranky Kong going back, like rocking
plushies.
on his rocking chair.
Yeah.
And you'll see if Don will find it. Oh yeah, these are the murals I was talking about. Look, there's Pikmin. There are Pikmin hidden on there, getting crushed by a barrel, and the ghosts are coming up from behind.
This is incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah, what's the rides? Oh, we've got to see the ride.
Yeah, so they give a little tease of the ride. You don't get to see much of it.
Okay, you at
but
least
it's a
have to have
minecart ride.
a good ride.
We learned about this before. So they launch you out of a barrel, and then you're on the minecart tracks, but they have it set up so it looks and feels like you're jumping the track. So,
Dude,
yeah.
give me a break.
Yeah, there's Dixie Kong up there, little watching out for you.
It's giving me Jaguar vibes at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah. Yeah, so they basically get up to the barrel and then they cut it. They don't want to spoil the whole thing.
You get a brief little look at the track up ahead. Look at this. Look at this
track
track right there.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Hey, Don, maybe we can ride it in Minecraft.
Oh,
We can go into
hopefully they can add it. They need to add that into the Universal Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
yeah.
They don't have Nintendo World in that Minecraft. I
Ah.
don't think yet. They have Universal Studios though.
Maybe someone's making it.
Hopefully right now.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. What a cool moment, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a win for all the gamers, man. The 80s and 90s, like, growing up, dude. This is like, I would have never in my wildest dreams imagined, like, a Nintendo World, you know?
Right.
And a Donkey Kong land, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's so cool.
Oh, I think
dude.
Don's getting the Cranky Kong. There it is.
Oh my god. So cool. So cool, dude. Cranky looks amazing. Is that an animatronic or a dude
Yeah.
in a suit?
It's an animatronic.
Oh my god. Yo, if you want to learn about animatronics, check out Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus, Season 2, Episode 1. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, and it goes into all of them, dude. And it talks to you about how at one point that ride was like freaking James Cameron's Avatar, where it was considered the greatest ride
Right.
in the world. Never knew about that for Pirates. It was literally
Oh.
considered the greatest
For sure,
ride of
for
all
sure,
time.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Goes into the animatronics a lot. So cool.
Nice. Okay, it is time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Respect.
Like Miyamoto himself on location, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
From Commander Fett. Hey, allies. I've been a longtime fan, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've finally joined the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Now I am curious to know what games you enjoy playing when you're feeling anxious or stressed.
Dragon Quest.
Personally, I find playing something that demands my full attention helps me distract myself.
Yeah. Nailed it. Literally Dragon Quest. And I said, you know, I've been hyping up the Draconic mode, the Draconian quest, because I have to focus,
Yeah.
you know, and I really appreciate that. Like, I was saying about so many JRPGs, like even Persona, you were talking about Metaphor, just like you're too OP, you just wipe out the enemies, you don't even need to fight them, right? It's just like,
Well, no, I
auto.
think that's a good quality of life. Like, I actually
Yeah.
love that in Metaphor, but yeah.
Yes, but I also really love even coming up to like the most basic enemies, really having to think, really having to use my brain of like, okay, this ability, okay, I'm gonna attack here. This person usually goes first, so I'm gonna attack that enemy. I don't want to double attack because this person can one shot. Like I'm always going through those on every single battle, and like I don't have time to be stressed or anxious about anything else because I'm just all in on getting through these battles in Dragon Quest. So Dragon Quest absolutely is one of the tops for just therapy.
How about Vampire Survivors?
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. The
Very-
relentless
very
nature,
simple,
dude.
But addictive, yeah. And it will keep you focused.
Yeah.
And then like you'll get hooked in. I think, and then like time will fly by. Because the game takes. Yeah, you'll kill a lot of time with that game.
Yeah, dude. Dude, Damiani, have you seen Karate Survivor? Is it Karate Survivor, chat? Dude, it's Vampire Survivor, but Kung Fu.
Oh.
And there's like combos, dude.
What?
Look it up. Early access right now. It looks insanely. I know,
access,
early
all
access. But look it up, though. Look it up right now, dude. It looks amazing.
Survivors?
Karate Survivor, I think it's
Karate-
called.
Karate
Yeah.
Survivor.
Dude. It looks sick, man.
Karate Survivor on Steam.
Yeah, dude, it looks crazy. Because I think
Oh, you like spin
There's
around
some inputs.
and wait, what?
does it look crazy?
So you actually hit buttons though.
A few. There's a
okay.
few inputs. I think I'm not 100%, but I think, and the tactics are like the upgrades you choose. They can build off each other to like have bigger combos and stuff. Like, dude, it looks good. It looks sick.
Okay. Oh, there's environmental hazards too. And-
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is The
Vampire Survivor clones, dude. We're getting them.
seeing some sprite nods there too.
Yeah, dude. Sick.
Nice. Yeah, off the top of my head, it's hard. Like out of stuff we talked about, I think Lego Horizon was pretty good for that stuff. You know, just like I said, it's simple, good pacing and stuff. You know, it's actually the opposite for me though. For whatever
That
reason,
gives you anxiety.
yeah.
Silent Hill 2, the most possible.
But I mean,
Most
but like in a
stressful
weird
game.
way because it's like because you're thinking about like games where you can just turn your brain off or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
But for me, with like racing games,
Oh.
even though they require so much mechanical focus,
Yeah.
it's like there's this other part of my brain that is just like going through all kinds of stuff, like
I get that.
conflicts and things, and
I
like
get that.
thinking through made up conversations in
Yeah.
my head with people, and just like
Because you're almost on autopilot. You know, you don't have to do
it's
much.
like one side of your brain is
except
doing
race.
one thing, and
Yeah.
one side of it's doing something totally different.
Totally. Yeah. I think it's there's a combination of things with something like a Dragon Quest where it's like strategic, but then there's also like story a little bit and the world, whereas the racing is like, all right, just beat them on the track. There's like not much else you need to think about. Not saying I'm not like devaluing its complicatedness or its PvP and stuff like that, but yeah, you just have to think a little less.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Any thoughts, Don?
Yeah, it's funny, the Empire of the Ants, this is one of the specific reasons why this was the right game for me at the right time. It's weird because usually real-time strategy games like this that are completely consuming and actually cause in-game stress for me of like I'm up against the gun and I have to be completely like every part of my brain is thinking about something. A lot of times I don't like that kind of game. But like when I'm looking for a true escape, like when I'm actually feeling real-world stress like the last couple weeks, a game like that is just like completely mentally engrossing and demanding and like creating in-world game stress is actually a really nice escape I found, you know what I mean, in terms of relieving stress in that kind of way. So that's when I kind of gravitate to like a more complicated sort of experience in that sense,
Sick.
or like something that is in-game stressful is somehow more peaceful. Whereas
Yeah.
normally, a lot of times I avoid that kind of thing because I'm like, this is just too intense for me. I like to be able to like, sit down for a second or like take a break, whatever. Just like,
Yeah.
brainless action, whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
Balatro, Gabby? Yeah. There it is. There it is.
From Slim Bone. So after around
Some people call it a thick bone. I call it a slim bone.
After around 250 hours in Elden Ring, wow, and 100 in the DLC, that's 350
Oh my
now.
god, I thought it was total with the DLC.
That's what I did too at
Oh my
first.
God.
Yeah.
I had a hankering for a deep RPG set in dark fantasy. You had a hankering after that? Okay. I dabbled in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh no.
I-
Dabbled? Oh no.
I thought long and hard about No Rest for the Wicked. Then in walked Path of Exile.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong.
1,000 hours later.
I have my fair share of frustrations with the game. It's to be expected with a somewhat bloated forever game from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I am totally hooked. The ability to dive so deep into RPG systems and layer my build with the right mix of defenses, buffs, debuffs, DPS is so satisfying.
Oh yeah.
I never expected to fall so in love with an ARPG. I know Isla's recently found a passion for Warframe, and I wonder if Damiani felt the same way for MMOs with FF14. So what they want to know is what are the games or genres that have led you down a new gaming path? What unexpected turns has your gaming life taken, and why?
Well, I mean, they want something other than 14.
I don't know. They make
Sorry.
sometimes they make this mistake if they call out the thing that they know the answer.
I mean, that would be the answer because like I only reviewed the original Final Fantasy 14, the 1.0, because it was assigned to me at Game Trailers, and that one was bad. I was like, oh, this is bad, but I mean, I was really interested in seeing like how bad it was because I was very interested and still am in like Square Enix's games and their publishing, but I just kept following that story about how they're not giving up on this because it was such a train wreck. And they're like, no, we're not giving up. I thought they were just gonna like move on. And like at that point in our industry, it didn't feel like anyone of that high profile of a miss. You don't rehabilitate that image.
Right.
You just cut it loose and move on. But they made all these statements about, nah, we already had too many misfires in the last few years, high profile ones. We have to rebuild the like Final Fantasy brand. So anyway, this whole messaging was very intriguing to me. And then I was like, oh, so what are they planning to do? Like, and I just remember when they dropped the open beta for A Realm Reborn, their new version of it, and being this combat is actually kind of fun. I was like, it's kind of more fast paced, and I was like, all right. I was also like really heavily into at that point, like it'd only been like a few years removed from Xenoblade Chronicles coming out on Wii, and I was like, I like absolutely love that game, that battle system, and while not quite, it's a cooldown based sort with like auto attacks and sort of a similar battle system roughly, but the teamwork works a way different because it's single player versus multiplayer. I was just like, this is shaping up to be kind of good. So anyway, I ended up reviewing A Realm Reborn as well because like, well, you need to follow up on this and see how good know the change is. So yeah, I would never but go back to the original Realm Reborn or 1.0. If I hadn't been assigned to review that, I would never really played it. And at that point, I had no interest in MMO RPGs whatsoever. I'm like, these things take way too much time. I'd rather be playing like a million other games like nonstop, and I don't need like I was like this to play this. You need to like cut out so many different games for your life. This is not cool. And I also like had other biases against them too. Kind of like had biases against anime when I was way younger, a teenager, and just need to get over some of those things. I would never have like really tried it out and cared about it and had any interest in playing A Realm Reborn. I would have been like, whatever. The first one stunk. I don't care about this new one. But to be fair, what if revisionist history stuff, even if I was never assigned 1.0 and I didn't jump into A Realm Reborn when it came out because I had no interest in it, I feel like eventually, given its trajectory, at some point I would have been like, God, like probably around like Heaven's Ward, I would have been like, or at least Shadowbringers when it was like at peak, would have been like, damn, I need everyone around me who loves Final Fantasy saying, damn, you need to try this. It's like, I think I would have got caught up at some point one way or another.
It's still
with
Final
this.
Fantasy. You love the franchise.
Yeah. Just maybe wouldn't have started so soon, but also like, maybe I'd be like really, really terrible at that game because I would have joined it so late and been like, what the hell? Like just so overwhelmed. Like so many, like, I mean, they're good with the onboarding now for the most part, but who knows? It's fun to think about that. Yeah.
Probably just say Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
Got in super early, Didn't think I'd still be playing it
Right.
a lot still. Like, it's crazy. The last time I stuck with a game for more than like one singular game for more than 6 months, multiplayer was like StarCraft 2,
Right.
Just how many games there are, the nature of this job, like my desire and love for so many different games makes me want to try them all and like to move on to consume as many as I can. So I had no idea that I was going to be just like dude, forever. Like Fortnite I can't imagine ever not playing Fortnite like with Grumbomb ever. I'm gonna be playing it my whole life. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Don, you got any?
Not particularly. I mean, sometimes Blood will send me random codes I'm not expecting, and I'll discover a lot of hidden gems that way. But I mean, one thing for sure is like some of these arcade shows I go to or arcades I'll go to. A lot of times it'll give me access just because I'm stumbling around playing everything to some of these older retro games because I usually have like a big time bias of like similar to Huber, kind of like before NES, and I'm kind of like, I start to disregard it just because it looks so archaic graphically and all this. But like playing some of those super old ones or being forced to play on a cabinet originally with the original controls and all that, you just make these discoveries of like, it's just like anything where like if you learn, when I learned like non-linear, film editing, suddenly you realize all these processes, how they're handed down through like the advancement of the genres. So like same thing with games.
Right.
You play these archaic 80s or late 70s games, and then you suddenly like have all these realizations of like modern games that still certain things have like carried over that we totally take for granted. We think it's backwards, we think it was like these mechanics are here now for this reason, but like playing some of these ancient things, suddenly you'll find a real appreciation for them that way. So yeah, sometimes going out in the wild a lot, when I can stumble across some games like that, it'll lead me down paths I don't expect, I guess.
Sick.
I don't know if that counts.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's cool. For me, so obviously we're already talking about some racing games, and like always been into racing games, right? Like Test Drive on the Commodore 64 and F-Zero on Super
What a flex.
Nintendo, Need for Speed, Burnout,
Midnight Club.
Midnight Club, some of
Yeah,
that.
shout out,
I
shout
didn't
out,
get
gotta
into
shout it
Midnight
out.
Club until L.A. Midnight Club at L.A. That's the only one I played of those. I missed the earlier ones.
L.A. What was that 3?
I think so.
3? Midnight
Yeah.
Club 3?
But I had no interest or desire in Sims. Like I'd see Gran Turismo or whatever, and I'm just like, that just looks slow. Does not look fun. I don't
Yeah.
know what I want to do with that.
Damn.
But kind of similar to like Damiani's experience is like at some point I ended up reviewing a game in 2009 at Game Trailers called Race Pro.
Race Pro.
Completely generic name. Probably nobody's ever heard of it. And that was actually published by Atari of all things.
Whoa.
And a sim racer company called Simbin. And that was the first time where I really kind of like it clicked. Like that sort of like relationship between yourself and the car and the track and getting all of those nuances down and
Feel
shaving
that,
off the
dude.
times and then, from there, like it was like kind of in that same year where like, okay, I started having to do like previews and interviews for Forza, and then I reviewed Forza Motorsport 3, and then eventually, ended up reviewing Gran Turismo when that came out. The GT5, I think 5 and then 6.
Sick.
But yeah. But that was the one. That was Race Pro was the one that bridged the gap.
That's very
This
funny.
weird little low budget game that nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
Which I still think I gave like a 7 something to, right?
Swimming, baby.
But like the gameplay was the thing that like I really appreciated in there.
That's
And
true.
just how well the physics felt.
Race Pro.
Yep.
Race Pro remastered. When?
From my Latin lover.
Yo.
Hey allies, imagine you're watching the Game Awards this year.
Okay.
And a trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 ends with out tomorrow. Shadow drop.
Okay. That would be
Not happening.
Yeah, that
But,
would be that would break the internet. Okay. Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4.
People would be having heart attacks, dude, if that happens. Like out of nowhere.
Metroid Prime 4, Wolverine, Elder Scrolls, Silksong. They've all been announced, but have left us high and dry with news.
Dude, I forgot about Silk Song. Shit, I forgot. Now it's back, dude. No. I hadn't thought about it in months.
As the hype machine for each one dies down or idles, what do you think is the perfect time frame to reveal, then release a game to catch maximum hype?
Whatever GTA 6 is doing.
Personally, 3 to 5 months seems best for me to stay in the zeitgeist. So I was kind of taking this as being like reintroducing the game to people,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if that's really it. It may just be a more general release window.
I am biased, and I seriously have the hottest take of all time. I'm sorry, but I think the GTA 6 trailer is one of the best trailers of all time. I really mean that. I really believe that. I know I'm obsessed with GTA 6 specifically, and I want it. But to me, for that game to be so anticipated, and for us to have been waiting so long with no news. And remember, it got leaked. They didn't even like officially.
Oh yeah, that whole mess. Yep.
So that's a whole big thing too. But like, even after all that time for the trailer to come out, that gave me life now until launch. Like that trailer fed me, and it painted a picture, a very vague outline of what the game is going to be all about, like that central core relationship. But it did so in a way, too, that got my mind racing with the possibilities of what that game is going to be, and that is exciting. I lay in bed at night just thinking, daydreaming about that game, and just thinking about what it's going to be, and like, I'm fine waiting, because I just get to keep fantasizing and thinking about it, and the game is, it can't hurt me right now because it's, you know, it's not coming out broken, it's not coming out bad, like it's not going to let me down. Right now we're just in that time where like all of the hype and the possibilities are endless. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's case to case. Like if you re-reveal with just a really awesome trailer and a really good message, and yeah, the timing's right, I think there's no right or wrong answer there. It just all depends.
Yeah, I have been feeling that like 3 to 6 months is pretty good for most games, honestly.
I feel like 3 is probably on the quick side.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has done that for a few games.
Sure.
So like middle level games to, you know, I would say to anything that's like maybe not GTA level, obviously. I feel like 1 year, honestly, is like what you should be shooting for like the max. Like, I don't know. I feel like things just move so fast nowadays that unless you have the, influence and carry the weight of something like a Grand Theft Auto, where they can announce it like a year, 2 years in advance.
Kojima, Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, like Death Stranding. It's like
Yeah.
those games will be in people's minds and they won't be competing for a lot of other things. And like it's just gonna be like automatic for them when the next trailer comes out. They'll be like, "Yep, I'm still hyped for that.
Yeah.
Let's go!"
Yeah.
Like it's just automatic. It's
Yeah.
like clockwork until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
But most other games, like the majority of every other game, can't really do that. And honestly,
So right.
I think like for like the biggest projects where like you maybe need to like get people excited for hardware and like you need to announce it a little bit early, like 1 year, like maybe a year and a half, but like 2 years or more now feels like it's just too much for anything that's not like the heaviest hitters in my mind.
And like
Yeah.
we hadn't seen GTA, so that's a little different case, right? We saw the game for the first time. So that was like it really fed me because it's like, okay, we finally see it. We see the game. Whereas Silksong now comes back and it's like in my brain, just from a trailer point, not, you know, being immersed in some Metroidvania, it's like I know exactly what I can see the trailer in my brain right now.
Right.
Hornet flying around, fighting some big bug beasts, like going to a shop, buying some things. Like I already see the next trailer in my mind. So it's like I don't know what they could do to like rekindle that hype other than an imminent release date, and then I finally play it. But like even then now I'm like such a hypocrite because it's like I'm gonna hop into Silksong and it's like the duality. It's like the duality of like on one side, take all the time you need. I really don't give a shit. I'm playing a million games. It's fine. I'll be there day one. But then on the other side, it's like, man, like really waiting a long time for this game. Like, all right, like let's play. Like took forever. It's almost like kind of like I don't know. Just this, yeah. There's just something weighing it down a little bit with how long it's taken. So it's a tough, interesting question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I think that for most big games, I think that like year plus to like year to 3 months, year and a half is probably like with Capcom, you know, what they did with Monster Hunter Wilds and Metaphor, I think was around in that same kind of ballpark, right? It's like, it's enough to be like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
And then, okay, here's
the deep dive.
We're gonna get the little
Like,
tour of the different like showcases and stuff. It's like, okay, it's Summer Game Fest, and it's gonna be at Gamescom, and it's gonna be a Tokyo Game Show. Like everyone's gonna get a chance to see it in person a little bit. But I did, I forget who it was. Somebody recently was, developer was talking about reasons that companies do announce. Like,
Oh, it's so
ridiculous,
important. It's so
or
important.
Ridiculously early, right?
I know. It's
it's
proof
like-
of concept. It's to
it's-
ramp up staffing. It's
Yeah.
to get advertising.
Like,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the things they're saying with the staffing thing is it's
Yeah.
like, if you're making what you want to be like a game of the year contender, then like you want to recruit the best developers in the world.
Yeah.
We're all competing for those people. So it's like, we want to show them, hey, we're working on this. Come work for us.
Yeah. As
Ditch where you're at right now.
a consumer, it's frustrating as hell,
Right.
but there is a reason for it usually.
Right.
So
And another thing that that I remember that was in that was to sort of to have the vibes right, so that, like GTA, the first thing that people see isn't some weird broken leak with a bunch of code all over the screen and gray
Yeah.
boxing and stuff like that.
God, I remember that too. I remember when that stuff came out and people were like, "This is it? It looks so bad." Like, no shit, it's a leaked prototype. Like, yeah.
So, yeah. Still, I think, yeah, that little slightly over a year, I think, is probably the sweet spot for most.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. A little under or a little over. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, it is time for bets. This week's bet, Don, roll this so people know what the heck I'm talking about.
Roll it.
Toads of the Bayou
Looks sick.
is out November 19th.
Looks friggin' sick. Will it be as difficult as Metal Slug Tactics?
I don't know, but that's a good comparison,
Good
Huber.
grief.
It is a card-based tactical roguelike
Yo, move over, Erd Tree. Metal Slug Tactics is here for the hardest game of the year.
starring a band of toads fighting against evil.
Nice. Teenage Mutant Ninja Toads.
So next week, in the launch trailer, or the most recent trailer if they don't do a launch trailer, but I think they probably will, I want to know how many cards we will see. We did those frogs and toads earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even watching this
Like-
trailer, there's so many like, I can't.
There's
no way.
a nun toad with a shotgun.
Right?
That is an idea. Wow.
So we're gonna count the cards, and what we're specifically
This
counting.
game looks so sick, man.
We're specifically counting the real player cards. We're not counting the cards in the UI. We're not counting the cards on the side of a shop. The actual player cards is what's going to count here. And in the release date trailer, which we have up on the screen for viewers right now,
Looks so cool.
they showed 38 cards in 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Okay.
So we want to know how many cards you think will be in the launch trailer. Damiani, Pompous Cocker Spaniel,
50.
50 cards.
Stay above 50.
Huber, Stealthy Centipede,
Blackjack 21.
21. Dawn, Fashionable Manatee,
I went with 25.
25. Gabby, Optimistic Rat, 40. And then myself, as the effervescent hippopotamus, coming in with the low, probably too low. I regretted this one. 17.
God, you guys boxed me out. Damn it. I need a blackjack. Yo, I got 16.
It is fun when you just nail it. Yep.
I got 16. I'm looking for a 5. Dealer's got a 10, dude.
Last week's bet was about Dragon Quest III.
Nice.
That is out today. And I
It's a glorious day.
went
It's a
to
glorious day, everyone.
find the first piece of armor that I could buy. Meaning, first shop, lowest price, and specifically a chest piece, right?
Yes.
Chest armor.
Yes, main armor
Because you
piece.
got chest, you got hats, you got
Yeah.
shields. And I wanted to know how many words would be in the description of that piece of armor. Damiani, where's Damiani?
Research break.
Damiani bet 6. Huber bet 14. Isla bet 22. Dawn also bet 14. And I bet 9. Dawn showed that screenshot there. Plain close for 10 gold.
Is go-to one word or two there?
This is the thing. The go-to choice
Is that
for
2
anyone
words?
not terribly fussed with fashion. I put this into Word, so I wouldn't have to be the decision maker.
Great.
So I counted that as 10 words.
Got it. So you got that.
And I got that.
Nice,
And I went to the other one because
Yeah.
there's another shop that was equally distant, but it was like way more. It was like 180
Yeah.
gold.
And you
That
would
one
know.
also came out to 10 words.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
there we go.
Good bet, dude.
So I won that one.
Great bet.
That brings the scores to 11
It's intense.
for the stealthy centipede. And also 11 for the wet hummingbird, who is not here.
Same, dude.
And I now have 11
Same.
for the effervescent hippopotamus.
Amazing. Almost the last month of the year. It's so good.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I have to start figuring out, like, I think the first week of December or something like that's going to end up being the last bet.
So awesome.
So we're getting close.
You know what that tells me, Blood? Good bets. That's what that tells me. Great bets. A 3-way tie this late, man. Well done.
Thank you. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Thank you to everyone who is watching this show, wherever you may be. And there are folks who have listened to this for hours every week, and they've decided that all those hours, all these game discussions, all these news topics, everything that we get into, that is not only worth the time, but it is also worth the money for all of that time. And they support us here on Twitch with subs and gift subs and all that stuff. And then there's also one-time donations, but the main way to support us is at patreon.com/easyallies. Fun fact, there are now, you can gift on Patreon now.
Nice.
It's a little bit more cumbersome than Twitch because you have to know the person's email address.
Got it.
They have to like not be an active member right now. It has to be somebody that's not already giving us money. But it is an option. So hopefully that will help, and hopefully, as you're coming up to the holidays, and like maybe somebody that would like a golden voice,
The gift of
message
Easy Allies.
from Brandon Jones,
Yes.
or would like a shout out on some podcasts or anything like that, or maybe just somebody that like would prefer to continue being a member, but like the biggest reason anyone ever leaves is like financial hardships.
Totally.
Had to, my house insurance payment went up, or I had a kid, or I lost a job. Like a lot of people like stop becoming members not because they want to, but they just don't really have much of a choice. They got to cut costs somewhere.
Totally.
So thank you to everyone that supports us. And yeah, that Patreon gift sub is now an option. At $5 a month, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. You get it ad-free. And you get to submit questions to Love and Respect. Plus, you get in our Discord where you can hang out and share the news early and talk about things and all that good stuff. Other tiers are there. Our platinum producers get a shout-out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout-outs go to Jabawabs and El Fanis. Shout out. Mentioned it before, but be sure to check out Isla on Kind of Funny Games Daily. There with Tim Geddes. It's got Phil Spencer in the thumbnail.
Jolly.
So check that out. This week on our group stream, we played Tetris Forever.
So sick.
Yeah, and everyone really got into that. I was worried. I was like,
It's
I don't know if Tetris is going to carry 2 hours.
Amazing.
But yeah, we got into so many different old Tetris games.
Hatris.
Hatris. Finally played Hatris.
Hatris.
And then next week, we all got to get ready. We got to get ready more than you got to get ready.
Mario Party?
You're always ready. Hall of Greats.
I'll bring Mario Party.
So we got to do our. Yeah, maybe we'll get a Mario Party in the Hall of Greats. We'll find out. We got to do our homework. Since I won that bet, I get to shout out to anything or anyone that's on my mind this week. I get the final word, and I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. I don't even know who it was, but I'm going to shout out to chat
Nice.
from Tuesday night
Okay.
that we're like talking about watching the final season of What We Do in the Shadows,
Nice.
because I didn't know that the episodes were back.
I love it.
Hulu didn't do the thing where it puts it in your there's
queue.
new episodes. I'm like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
I would be watching this. I'm so far behind now. But,
Dang.
so What We Do in the Shadows is back. Thank you to chat for letting me know that it's back.
Cobra Kai's back too.
Tonight. Tonight. Final word. I don't know. Final word is this podcast is not an Xbox. And we will see you before the next blood moon rises. Thanks, Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a cozy adventure.